Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live. Waiting for the rest of the panel to work their way in here. They are actually having minor technical difficulties due to their apps and the information on their devices to update so they could join in on live video chat. So, everybody, please sit tight and have patience, and we'll be back with you very shortly. I am going to mute myself. So I'm going to mute my audio as we wait on the rest of the panel to show up. So you are in the right place. You found the right person, the right link. That's good. Share the link away. Let everybody know in the live chat that you're on hold. If you do not know where the live chat is, if this is your first time here, the live chat is directly below where you're viewing. If you are on your phone, just scroll all the way down. The live chat is right below where you're viewing this live show. If you are on a laptop or desktop, the live chat will be on your top right hand corner where you can enter in your comments and everything. And once we get the rest of the panel in here, I will be watching the live chat. So again, everybody, just hang tight, be on standby, and I'm going to mute myself. So again, have patience. I will be right back. Hold on one second. We got Fred back on here. Fred, it's still showing that you're muted. All right, let's see what we got here. Um, all right, Zach. Hold on. I'll try again, Zach. I got to go back to I. It's hard to add you. Keep going back and forth because I have to go copy and paste the link again in another page. This is uh, pain in the butt. All right, Zach. Give me a second. Copying it now. All right. I will paste the invite to you. Go to your email address, Zach. All right, Zach. You now have the invite being sent out right now. All right. All right. Fred, if I guess you hear me. If you were on a phone, if you were on the phone, just touch the screen. If you touch the screen of the phone, the all your icons and options should pop up at the top of your screen of the phone.
Howdy, folks.
Ah, good. We finally got you on here. Fred's trying to figure out how to unmute his phone, his end, because if you look, he's got it's muted on his end.
You got him muted on your end, or Fred, go ahead and see if you can go down to where tap the screen, and it goes down to show end call button, a camera icon, a mic icon. Click the mic icon, see what happens.
Yeah. So.
Nothing.
Well, the other thing is too, if he has not been on this in a while, he's got to watch at the top of the screen. If he's on a desk, his laptop, sometimes it'll ask for the computer will ask permission to. You got to click allow, like for the microphone or the camera to work. So sometimes you have to click allow for that to work. All right, I think he's got something. He's figuring something out.
He's signing for something. I don't read sign language, Fred.
I don't know either. So, give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna mute myself. I will be right back. Hopefully he can figure something out. All right. All right. All right, I got myself unmuted. Yeah, on the control room, it's not letting me have. Oh, wait a minute. It might work now. No, it let me turn his camera on and off, but it will not let me unmute him.
Huh. I don't know what to tell you.
Let me try this again.
Jeez Louise, I got people going up and down this road all night, driving me nuts.
I don't get it. I don't understand why that's doing that.
Oh, jeez.
But I thought Baltimore was going to be joining in with us. I don't know. He was acting like he was excited about it.
He's probably still trying to get in.
Well, I don't know. He normally doesn't have a problem. But
Hi,
right
Connie.
now, yeah, she's trying
sitting
to
there
figure it out.
tinkering.
All right, we got 10 people watching, and let me see. Let me get down to the live chat here.
Who we got?
Well, on the live chat right now, there's a Ray Vargo. Oh, we got She Squatchers on here watching.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Miss Jen Cruz. And she said, "Oh, technology is awesome, isn't it?" And then Miss Sarah Davis, one of our Virginia residents. Oh, Jen from She Squatcher says it's way too cold here to go out squatching, and then she says, "Hi guys."
It ain't too cold.
Let's see what we got here.
It
Well,
only gets too cold whenever it gets down below zero.
All right, Fred. I see that Fred dropped off. I guess he's gonna try to come back here in a little bit. So,
look like it's just you and me, partner.
Yeah, for the time being, that's fine. That's fine with me. So I know we got. Oh wow, the number of viewers are growing. That's awesome. So for those joining in, if this is your first time ever watching a live YouTube podcast show, if you are on your phone and you want to interact through the live chat, which I am watching on the live chat, if you're on your phone, if you go directly below where you're viewing, the live chat will be found below where you're viewing. If you're on your desktop or a laptop, the live chat will be found on the top right-hand corner. At least that's where it is for me. So. Okay. Ray Vargo. This is Ray and Tammy from Open Minds Group. Okay, cool. See, and Sarah said, I think it is. She said I was smoking all kinds of meat outside today. Oh, okay. Okay, and Connie said he is trying to get it to work on his phone. All right, we got Squatch Watchers on here. Taylor and Tate, North Carolina Squatch Watchers, saying, "What's up, fellas?"
Hey, boys.
And MDL, hello from Indiana. We are at 26 degrees today. Awesome.
It got up to about 24 here today.
Yeah, I didn't go out today. Except I went to the gym, and that was it. Me and my daughter went to the gym, and really enjoyed it. So had a good workout. Got my tan on again. So my tan's actually starting to develop pretty well. So
yeah, us Irish can tan.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Anything's possible.
I'm 3/4 Irish, and the last time I tried tanning, I started tanning about a month before my senior prom. That's the first time I ever tanned, and I come out, I look like a friggin' Oompa Loompa.
Did you use any kind of suntan lotion or any tanning lotion?
No one told me about that till it was too late.
Well, it's not that. Like, I've been doing it without lotion because in the sun, if I get enough sun and stuff, I mean, I tan up pretty good naturally anyway. The thing is, if you do use tanning lotion, you want to make sure you don't use one with a bronzer in it, because if you're using a bronze tanning lotion, you will become orange. So,
Oh, I was red like a lobster for about 2 weeks,
mm.
and they like to come right up behind me and pat me on the back, saying, "How you doing, Zach? How you doing?" And I sit there, be going,
Connie said, Daniel, Fred's phone is updating to his link. To my link. Okay. And Sarah Davis said, my brisket and ribs did well today, even with a nasty cold. Nikki said, it was in the mid 70s today. Beautiful but windy. Well,
"Send it this way, will you?"
I know, right? That's like, yeah, because she's down in Texas. So, Sarah said spray tan. Nah, I don't. I thought about trying those, but nah, I don't want to
You
do a
ain't
spray
no Guido.
tan.
You ain't no Pauly D neither.
Oh, okay. Connie said to send the link to her phone. So, all right, I'll send it to her messenger, and I will do it that way. We'll try that. Okay.
Yeah. I would have thought
Oh,
Ryan Reading would have been on here tonight.
yeah. I don't know what he's been doing. I haven't seen him on lately.
He's been
Uh,
staying pretty quiet. Last time I talked to him, it was there's Connie. Last time I talked to Ryan, it was a Wednesday, last Wednesday, or the week before that. I got a call from a New York number, and I ran it by him to see if it was him. And that's the last time I talked to him. I don't see him very much on Facebook anymore.
yeah. T. Gray said in California it was 75, 74 today.
Now I'm jealous.
All right, what's going on here? It won't let me click on Connie's name up here. All right, let me try this again. I think Facebook needs to up. It won't even let me refresh Facebook. What the heck?
Probably got too much going off on one modem.
Well, I cleared off. I had a bunch of open message chats on my laptop. I closed them off. Okay,
Yeah, I
Nikki said
talked
she'll
to
send.
Grandma today.
Oh yeah, how's she doing?
She's got her voice back. She's still hurting from where they did the surgery in her shoulder. She said they must have bent her shoulder and her arm a certain way because she's having real bad muscle cramps, and Grandpa's having to massage her shoulder for her every couple hours.
Oh,
But
okay.
other than that, she was in a pretty good mood today.
Huh.
I went and I fed this morning because Grandpa hurt his hip trying to get a calf up out of a creek, and he fell and hurt his hip. And he's got some bruising on his side, so I took care of the cattle this morning, and I stopped by and saw him around 8:30 this morning.
Right. Let me try something here. She squasher. Jen said she just.
Can you can you still hear me, Dan? Can't get nothing, can you, Connie?
That's what I want to do.
Still nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. MDL made a mention that I know I mentioned that on Facebook before the show, but yeah. For those who don't know and are familiar with Mr. J.C. Johnson, the crypto four corners, had just recently passed away. He's been suffering with pneumonia. So everybody, please keep his family in prayer, thoughts and prayer. So
Yeah, that's sad that all happened.
yeah,
Seems like all the greats are dying anymore.
Sarah said she lost audio for a second, and she said that's back. All right. All right, hold on 1 second here.
I was making sure if you still heard me or not because I'm sharing the live chat to my team's group chat, so that way if they want, they can tune in tonight.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I just sent the link to Connie's page, so we'll see what happens. All right. Tell you what, you know what I'm going to try to do? Tell you what. For those who are listening, if you want to join in live with us, guess what I am going to do? I'm going to post the link to join in live with us on the group chat. That's going to make it a little bit more interesting. So if you want to join in live with us, all right, I'm posting the link right now. There it is, right here on the live chat. If you want to join in live with us and let's talk Bigfoot, come on in. I left it open for the public under the live chat. So yeah, if you want to join in live, the link is right there. I just posted it, as you see, highlighted in blue from me. All right, we'll see what happens. We do recommend if you are coming on live with us, please have a headset or a set of earbuds to prevent possible interference and feedback. We do advise it or recommend it.
Did you see the new episode that Vic Cundiff uploaded of Dogman Encounters yet?
No, I have not. Why? What's up with that one?
Oh my God. There's a guy from New York named Dave with the North American Dogman Project, and Vic played a recording of a Dogman howl, and it scared the bejeebers out of me.
Sarah Davis. I guess Sarah Davis is coming on. She said, "Just forgive how I look," and we don't care what people look like. We know this.
Evidently not. You let me in here.
I know. I gotta turn your camera off. Oh, for some reason, it's not letting me have that.
Oh shit! I'm gone.
Why? What's wrong?
My tablet's powering off.
Oh man,
I'll be.
you suck. All right. Well, it looks like we just lost. It looks like we just lost Zach. Tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do something different here. We're gonna make this. I'm gonna add a little more interesting. So I'm watching the live chat, and anybody is welcome to join us. Like I said, I got the live chat open up right now, and we're gonna also go Facebook Live while doing YouTube. All right. Let's see. All right. Looks like Zach is returning.
I'm back. I apologize for the cuss words. I got mad.
Ah.
Now the daggone thing just turned back on.
Really?
Yeah, I just set it down in my passenger seat in my truck and it just turned back on. I swear.
All right. I hear myself echo on your end.
I ain't hearing nothing. It's probably still got my headset in.
Hey, Zach.
Mm.
Brittany and Nello if I'm saying the last name right.
Yeah.
She's saying hello to you. So.
Hey, Brittany, I texted you earlier. Yeah, she's a friend of mine from West Virginia that we talk every now and then.
All right. Nikki is waving at me. Now she's sending me a message. All right, we got people on Facebook Live with us. That's awesome. Except they can't hear you guys unless I take my microphone out.
Ryan just messaged us in the chat from December 31st. He said, send in the link.
Oh, hold on, everybody. I dropped my tablet. All right. Tell you what, we're going to try to do this here. All right. Zach, try talking. I want everybody to know, let me know if they can hear you.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. You got Blint, the team leader of the Southern Illinois Monster Hunters tonight, here on ECBRO's roundtable discussion with Daniel Benoit.
Awesome. Anyone who's watching through Facebook Live, please give us a heads up. Let us know if you hear the audio. Do you hear the audio coming from Zach?
I could hear feedback.
Yeah, that's because I unmuted my. I see why, because I took my headset out.
Yeah, I can hear the audio just fine.
Okay. Let me see what happens. I'm going to try to get some feedback from those on the live chat. Well, on Facebook, because I have 2 live chats open up. I have Facebook Live going on right now, and here's Ryan Reedon jumping in.
Ryan Reedon.
All right.
What's up, guys?
Ryan Reedon, all the way from New York. What?
Technical difficulties, huh?
Yeah, everybody is. Fred tried to get on here. Fred's trying to get on here through his phone, his laptop, Connie's phone, and they're just not having no luck. So
I would send them the link in their.
I didn't leave this call.
do what?
It just said, it just popped up, said SIMH left the call. I did not leave the call. I'm still here.
No. You had 2 icons open up. I closed the old one out. Why? Did you need that one open for some reason?
You're breaking up.
I said, did you need that one open for some reason?
It was up on the tablet. Tablet shut off.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry, Zach. I thought that was another one. So.
Now here, the tablet's still on. Here we go. I'll shut it off, and that might work. It's probably still picking up on my audio over there.
I had a hard time getting on too through my phone for some reason, so I got the link sent to me in my Facebook, and it was easier to get on that way.
See, it never works like that for me. Every time Daniel sends a link to me, I always get sent right to the Google Hangouts app itself.
Brittany said, "Poor Zach. I feel sorry for you."
Hey, Nikki.
Hi, you guys hear me?
Hey, Nikki.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you real good.
Good.
All right.
I'm using a different headset, so.
Oh, okay.
It's
cool.
clear.
Yeah, we got people. I got people on Facebook Live on the live chat. I got people on the YouTube live chat. So we got people all the way around here. So awesome. So because I got my laptop, my tablet, and my phone going all at the same time.
I'm sure they'll all crash pretty soon.
Oh yeah, you can probably count on that. So. I'm trying to keep my tablet set up to where it's not gonna fall. So.
Just glue it to the wall.
Okay, the wall's. Yeah, I'll put it right behind me. So.
Well, the thing is,
the way I got my tablet up against the screen of my laptop is right here by the microphone. That way, people on Facebook could hear you guys because I unplugged my headset so people could hear it through the speakers of the laptop.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting a little feedback on that though.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing. I might have to cut that off. Plug my headset back in.
Yeah, because you're sounding choppy on my end.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. For those who are on the live chat on Facebook, the link is right here on my timeline. Just find a YouTube link. It's called ECBRO Bigfoot Chat. Click the link and join in on the live chat on YouTube. I'm going to end this live feed on Facebook, so I can plug my headset back in. All right, so
Fox just
yeah, I see Connie back on there.
Hi, Connie. Fred, whoever it is.
Let's see. We are coming in okay on. All right, Brenda Lee said I'm coming in okay on Facebook. Yep. But yeah, on the live chat through the YouTube link, they're saying they're catching feedback. So I got to plug my headset back in, and so find the link on my timeline and join in on the live chat on YouTube. So I'm going to end the live chat here on Facebook. So hopefully I'll see you guys on the live chat on the YouTube link. The YouTube link is right here on my timeline.
Oh, I like Daniel's avatar.
Yeah, you know where that came from?
Richter Riolo.
Richter.
Yep. Yeah, he made me look very masculine and manly.
Kind of like
He needed to add on about a couple 400 pounds to it, though.
Oh, ooh, ooh.
Oh man.
Look. Hey, look here. I go to the gym and I work out. Okay?
Jim who?
What?
I said Jim who?
Man, I'm getting more subscribers tonight. I've gained like 4 since I've been live. That's awesome.
Well, that's probably because I'm on.
Actually, they went up when Nikki jumped on.
Got you again. No, I'm just joking.
Hold
It's
on.
all me.
Jen Cruz from Sheathwatch is trying to get on, so I'm gonna. Jen, I'm sending it directly to your Facebook Messenger. It'll work that way.
No,
Yeah, that's
my
what I had
avatar,
to do too.
My
Yeah,
avatar, I just went and designed the logo myself.
Yeah, because Jen was having it said hers when she went through the link on the live chat. It said error. So yeah, Jen, if you're still listening, check your Facebook Messenger. I sent it directly to you.
I think
She
Taylor
just
and
saw it.
Tate want to get on too.
Okay, I'll send it to
More the
Squatch
merrier.
Watch. Yeah, because earlier they said they weren't able to do it. But I sent the join-in link through our group chat on Facebook. Baltimore just saw it, so see if Baltimore comes on. Oh, awesome! I just gained another subscriber. Whoop, whoop.
I think somebody's head's swelling there.
Something.
Well,
what is that? Like 7 now, Daniel? Total?
What total subscribers? I got 867 now.
Ooh, you got it,
brother.
Daggum, I only got 50.
What are we on YouTube?
Yeah, my YouTube subscribers. Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, you think I would have more, but I'm not that popular, I guess, because I mean I've had my YouTube channel for at least 5 years now. So, but hey, everybody, please welcome Miss Jen Cruz on the panel with us tonight. How you doing,
Hello.
Jen?
Hi guys, I'm good.
Hi.
How are
Howdy,
you?
howdy.
So, and for those who don't know, she is one of the founders of She Squatchers.
Pleased to
That's
meet
right.
So, all right, let
We had
me.
a snowstorm today.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
There's
Oh my!
Baltimore.
What's up, Baltimore?
Hey, how you doing?
Baltimore.
Awesome.
We got a party here.
A party?
Wow, we got let's see, we got tons of people on the live chat. So that's awesome.
They're probably waiting for us to talk about something.
Fred says try fredkenny@gmail.com. Gmail. Okay, I guess Fred's got a new email address. I'll try sending the link to him that way.
Good old
It's
Edward.
That's a simple email. Fred@gmail.com. Oh,
You guys are fucked up.
all right. I sent it. Let's see what happens.
There we go.
How come you're getting that feedback, Daniel?
Am I still getting feedback?
Yeah, it's echo. It's getting echo.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I'll
got
tell you
echo.
why. It's Zach.
Don't say it.
It is because
It's all
every time
Zach.
we have all the technical issues. I have to mute you when we're on the radio show because everybody else can't hear me. As soon as I mute you, everybody's fine.
What is it up with y'all picking on me?
Cause
Well, usually it's just the door, this car door or something. You can hear the bell ringing sometimes.
because when you join Zach, when you join us, you join in using. Never mind, I ain't saying it.
Say it.
Oh,
Junk.
hell.
Say it, you sissy.
You gotta stop buying your devices from the doll store.
Oh.
Oh my.
I can't help it. I'm broke.
Oh.
I'm picking Zach.
I know, Bubba. I know.
Well, Sarah Davis, for your information, she said, Zach, you're the only one who does not echo. What
Hey. Thank you, Sarah.
I shouldn't echo. Am I echoing?
No,
No,
you're
I don't
clear.
hear.
Yep. I hear
I
her
got.
echoing.
I hear it too.
I hear from
I'm
everybody
on
else.
headset.
I didn't hear from Jen.
I'm on headset, so I shouldn't be echoing.
I think it's just something with the call.
It could be, but tell you what, let me try something.
Daniel's always
Now-
got something going on.
All right, check this out. I muted Zach, so how's that sound?
That's better.
No.
I don't have an echo.
There is no echo.
Well,
See?
because what I didn't. Yeah, I turned his volume all the way down, so now
Is he on a headset?
I don't know what he's got. Let me turn his volume back up so he can respond.
If you could see the look on my face right now and the little gesture I'm doing right now, you wouldn't like me too much.
See, anytime Zach joins us, he goes out in his truck and sits out in the cold in his truck.
Well, it's because I got 2, 3 dogs and 3 cats in the house, all right, and them dogs sit there and they like to yap all night long.
Oh, well, go in your bedroom and shut the door.
That's where my dog's at.
Oh. Oh, okay then.
What is going on?
Sarah Davis said, "Put the finger down." Put that So,
Did you find anything on your hike yesterday, Daniel?
well, I found a few interesting things. Well, tell you what, I went down the same area I went just a couple days ago. My latest video upload I had, the one from I entitled it "In Their Domain." Well, I returned back to that location where I found this teepee structure. I know Baltimore's familiar with it, and I'm sure some of you guys might have seen the teepee-like structure that I posted in pictures a few days ago. Well, I went back down that same way, and I went back to that area, and this time I wanted to go a little further in, so I went beyond there, and keep in mind I was walking down a gravel road, and as I went in, I decided to go into the woods. I went in a long stretch, like kind of in an angle, working my way up a ridge that was beside me. And of course, I didn't know there was actually really a ridge right there until I went far enough into the woods and saw that it climbed up, went uphill. So I kept climbing, and I'll tell you what, the further I went in and the higher I got, the structures and formations got really, really interesting. I found a lot of things that really stood out to me. But as far as activity goes, I didn't experience or hear anything out there. I do believe that might have been a lot of it had a lot to do with the cold. The temperature. It was cool out there, and I've seen a lot of deer sign. Like a lot of impressions in the leaves from deer. Give or take, I saw some some coyote signs. I've seen them. I saw a small bear track or two. But nothing to really get excited about, unless you're, like the structures. Some of, like I said, some of them really stood out to me. that looked very interesting. But yeah, besides that, I can't really say much more for that. Now there was a was he? Yeah. The other day when I was out there, I'll say this, and I did not post them. I posted them on my Instagram. I did not post them to Facebook yet. Which actually maybe I did. I think I posted them only in the ECBRO group. I had posted several of the pictures of the structures and formations I had taken pictures of. And also there is a series of tracks I came across in an area where I've actually found tracks in this location, exact location, several years ago. Now these tracks, a lot of them were small, and a couple of them really stood out to me. I may have actually stepped on a couple of them because, when I came to this area, I just so happened to look down. But right as I looked down, I almost stepped on the first one I noticed. The toes were very visible, and if I guess none of you guys probably saw any of them. You know what? I might be able to share them with everybody here. If you give me a second, I'll be able to do a screen share here. Let me go find where I had posted them. I'm trying to remember where I posted them at. So,
was Chris supposed to come out to your area? Chris Reinhardt?
not that I know of. He may have mentioned something, but I can't recall him, coming out there.
Because I had like a cross post. I had seen that you were going out, and then he said, I don't know if maybe it was just his group, how they're building a parabolic dish or something. Yeah,
I think I seen that too.
Yeah. I asked him to make sure, it can record, because otherwise it's really useless. I mean, you can hear it, but to get any type of...
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Can you guys see this right here? This is, you can't really see this too well. This one here this is one of them. This is just an impression. You would have to be there in person to see this a lot clearer than what it is.
I can see it.
Now you watch. Hold on, I'm trying to go to the next one. All right. Now I know this one here is not doing much justice. Hold on. I got a couple that you can see. If you look closely, you can see what appears to be a big toe right here. In this
How big is your knife? How big is your knife?
The knife from end to end is 14 inches.
What the hell are you carrying that for?
Well, I'll show you. I got that. Actually, I got it right next to me. I'll show you guys that in a second. All right, this here was kind of like a partial. It looked like the rest of it didn't show up. To me, it looks like it was just the ball of the foot that got stepped down right there. But that there stood out. It looks like there was somewhat toes there. Some of these are hard to make out because I don't take these as being fresh. Now here's the good one right here. Please tell me you guys see this.
How'd you make that?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So this is the best one right here. Now, like you see, from here up to here, like I said, that's 14 inches. So this is a very small one right here.
That's a weird footprint.
Hold on, I got a couple of them right here of the same track. I took different angles. Oh wait, no, this is a different one. I don't know how. Could you guys see that? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right here. If you can see, that's the heel, and it comes out. I know you can't really see toes in this one, but I'm pretty comfortable saying,
Go back to that other one with the toes.
All right, right there.
Is that 4 toes?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 show up. I don't see. Yeah, I can't really see nothing there, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So
that's really odd, though. It's weird.
Actually, Lauren Coleman says that they could have anywhere from 3 to 5 toes, and maybe they lose them in the cold or something. Who knows?
Well, the thing is, we don't know. I mean, this could have been this soil, all this area here, a majority of it was real soft. I mean, I was sinking in some of it too. This is like a lot of this right here in this area. I don't know if you can tell. You can tell more in this next, the other picture I just showed. It's like a that it's a mossy. It's like dry, crusty moss. But it's
I was not even referring to the toes, but like the body structure, the heel.
Yeah.
You didn't see
Yeah.
a break, and it's really narrow.
Yeah.
It's like a odd.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's no. It's like you can see that what appear. This is the inside step of it right here, and I know there's no heel to show right there, but
It's
so,
almost like it was running, or something was running, and you could see the depth on the large toe, with the side that seems to be impressed more.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And if
All
you,
right.
I don't know. I was just
Yeah,
curious.
you guys seen that one? All right, there it is again without the knife. Yeah, like right there. Yeah, you can clearly see just 4 toes, but if there is a 5th toe there, I don't know what happened to that. So, unless it was curled in or something. But all right. That's from Connie Fox. So, all right, where is
Woodburger
my
Farm in the chat room says I found 2 four-toed tracks recently.
4-toe tracks?
Yeah, in the chat room.
Huh.
Who said that?
Interesting.
Woodburger Farm.
Yeah, he's I think he lives out in California.
Nice.
Who does?
Has anybody ever found like tracks with like a displaced digit, like the it's almost like a thumb, and it like sits way back down on the foot?
I can't say that I have.
I have taken a picture of a Bigfoot foot that had hammer toe, which is a human condition. It jumped out at me right away. You could even see the nail beds on the toes. Very furry foot, but the toes didn't have hair on them by the nail beds, and the one toe was sticking straight up. I can show you guys the picture sometime.
All right. I was gonna say if you have it, where if you could send it to me, I could pull it up. Do what I just did. I could do a screenshot of it if you have it available.
Yeah, I can look for it. It's not a print. It's actually a picture of a foot. It was like sticking out from behind a tree.
Really? Well, that
Yeah.
should be interesting.
Yeah, hang on, let me grab it. Where's my phone at?
Woodbooger said, "Heck no, Kentucky."
Oh, I thought he was in
Just told you
California.
that. No, I'm a follower of Woodburger's Farms,
All right.
and they're down there in Kentucky.
Well, Woodbooger, if you're in Kentucky, April 21st at Harlan, Kentucky, at 110 River Street, there is a Harlan, Kentucky CryptoCon, April 21st. Oh, by the way, Jen, thanks for subscribing. You're my 868th subscriber.
That's good.
All right.
We're
Move
just
it up,
trying to
Dan.
figure out all this YouTube stuff.
What's that?
We're not very high tech yet. We're looking for a new teammate that can do all of that stuff for us, but it gets to be a lot, as I'm sure you know.
Oh, yeah.
It gets to be overwhelming.
Yes, it is. We have a lot of video. Holy crap.
Yeah, Mr. Woodbooger said Mr. Lancaster sent him an invite. Oh, cool. Robert Carpenter said, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Well, thank you.
My weekend's almost over.
Okay, so who's winning the Super Bowl?
Patriots.
Definitely not the Patriots.
Patriots.
I hate the Patriots, but they're probably going to win.
That's what I say.
Hold up. I'll be right back.
Like the name of the Patriots says, pay all referees in order to succeed.
I am.
Who's playing the halftime show?
I think it was Justin Timberlake, if I wasn't mistaken.
All right, I'm back.
Are you?
Yes. I have to.
Daniel, I was going to ask you, not to change subject, on your book that you have written or whatever,
Right here.
would you go with for a format like a 6x9?
No, on my book, the one, actually, the last two of them, they're actually the 8x10s. So.
I jumped to a 7x10 because the photos were giving me an issue.
Wait, which one? Are you using? Which one are you using? Create Space?
I think. Well, everything goes to the person I have editing. They're doing it all. Like I. Huh?
Melissa George, when she does her books, she, yeah, I think no, she uses Create Space. She was actually telling me about another editor that she uses. It's actually free and easy to use. It's called Grammarly. I don't know. Some of you guys might have heard of Grammarly. So, but
well, yeah, she's the one that does it for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Thing
Yeah, I wanted to show this.
use?
This is my new hat. I wasn't even gonna wear it, but I only bought it for just to have. So my new hat and matching T-shirt right here. So, yeah. So I didn't want to wear it because this is $80 altogether. So.
Big spender.
So why didn't you wear it? What do you mean you didn't want to wear it?
I don't want to ruin it.
So wearing it's not going to ruin it. You're in a house.
Well, right now, yeah. So, hold on. Yeah, I told you guys I was going to show you my knife right here. So, this is a. Hold on, I thought I turned my camera back on. There we go. Anyway, this is the knife that I use right here. The case this here was actually made by Walter Tippy. Yeah, he makes those. He makes a lot of leather crafts. He does those Bigfoot necklaces. But yeah, this is the knife I use right here. Like I said, it's 14 inches. So I actually had two of these. One got. They're not the best quality knife, but they do work. The other one I had that was just like this, the tip broke. But
let me see that knife again.
Right here. Yeah, I got to clean it off. It's not really holding. It's not that big. It says Winchester. I don't know if you can't see it. I got stains. I got to scrub this off somehow. It's got all kinds of crap on here.
I'm sending you a new knife for Christmas.
Well, I got other ones. I collect knives, so. But most of the ones I collect, most of them are small. I got a couple of fixed blades. I got my one knife I like to use. I don't know if it's in here. No, it's in my backpack. My hiking backpack that's out in my vehicle that I use for when I go hunting and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be watching the game close tomorrow for the Patriots. So.
Oh God.
Hold on. Jen sent us some photos. Let me go pull them up. All right, hold on.
It caught my attention because of the hammer toe. It jumped right out at me because this is a human condition that people have. I'm a massage therapist too. So, and a lot of times they'll get a sore right in the joint area because a hammer toe where the joints are displaced in the foot. It's a very painful condition. A lot of times people get a sore near the area near the joint. And this has a sore in the area near the joint. And it jumped out at me right away. I'm like, it's a Bigfoot hammer toe. And
right.
And it was just sticking out from behind this tree. I just saw this. It just jumped right out at me. Maybe you wouldn't have noticed it hadn't I recognized that. But.
Now, here's the first one.
And I sent you a couple where I circled the sore, but the toe sticks way up and out. As you can see, it comes down almost like a hammer.
How close was this?
I wonder where my original is. Pulling all these things off my phone. I had them in a folder just cropped up like this. It's not. I was looking at a structure that was right next to it. Right, and then there was a tree right there, and that was right.
Um,
Picture.
now this here
I'm
wall,
zoomed in a lot.
huh?
What's that? What's that?
Yeah, I was asking. This picture here. What is this one here?
It's the same picture. I just zoomed in on the other one to show clarity of the nail bed.
Oh, okay.
It's the same picture. There was a structure right there to the left, and you know, I didn't catch it all in that picture, but got the tree. Apparently, there was it looks like a foot sticking out from behind the tree.
Oh, you talking about right here where my mouse is?
No, it's up further. Oh, I can't see you.
Oh, right here.
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. Huh. Like almost like something could be sitting there with their leg extended out, maybe.
Well, more like standing behind the tree with its foot sticking out. Not hiding so well.
Huh. Yeah, I could definitely see the shape of the foot right there.
Could you see the nail bed of the big toe?
Like maybe something right here, maybe.
Well, here, I'll send you a picture where I draw it in. How's that?
Okay.
To me, it's just crystal clear, but okay. So this is the big toe. Big toe.
Doesn't
There's
this look
another
like
toe
something up here?
here.
This almost looks like a little face right here.
Then there's more.
Daniel, stop with the faces.
But the hammer toe comes up. I mean, it does this hammer thing. It comes, the one toe, it's like there's the big toe, the toe next to it, and then it's the third toe in, if you count the big toe from the inside. It's the third toe in, it's sticking up like a hammer toe.
All right, hold on one second. Go back here, close the screen out. Zach has let me know that he's been trying to get back on here for a while now. I don't know what he's doing.
It's the government. Always.
All right, first, oh, okay. Now I see what you're. All right, hold on. Let me go through these here. Hold on. I saw the other one you outlined in blue altogether. Where'd that go? No, let me scroll down more. I didn't go all the way down. All right, there we go. Let me come back and pull this up. There we go.
Oh, that's not how I was looking at it at all.
Yeah, at first that's what threw me off because I was looking at it like, yeah. At first, I thought this was the shape of the foot right here, come down like this. So
It jumped out at me because of the hammer toe. That's what caught my eye, and I immediately went to that because it's a condition that I see sometimes in patients. So, and it even had the sore in the right spot. That's why it just really jumped out at me. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have noticed it because it's not that far off from the coloring of the background.
yeah, no, I will say that is interesting, most definitely.
But now that you see where the big toe nail bed is, I've kind of marked that out. If you go back to a regular picture and look for the big toe nail bed, then you can
Say
see
that
that
5
you can.
times.
I know it's a tongue twister for sure.
Interesting, most definitely interesting.
But you see where the sore is at the base of that hammer toe. The one that's sticking up and all deformed.
Yeah, you talking about right here where my mouse is, right?
I thought that was a picture of Daniel and his feet. I don't know.
Well, I haven't seen Daniel's feet, but that would be very hairy, actually.
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
He says thank you.
Might match his beard.
You never know. I got big feet.
He's bringing Harry back. Yep.
Hold on.
Do you know Squatch Man do you know Greg Yost?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This was
Yeah,
at Squatchman's
actually.
hot spot.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
we went camping with Greg last September at his hot spot. Well, we didn't camp with him. He brought us out there and took us all around, and then he went home and let us camp there by ourselves. How nice is that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We've had him on the show before.
Have you?
Actually, not on this one here. Actually, what was it? Was it here? Yeah, no, we had him on the radio show, I believe. So
Yeah.
So
I call him the Yoster Bunny. It's an inside joke.
So this is at Greg Yost or Squatchman's hot spot.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, pretty neat.
I haven't talked to Greg in a while. I don't know. I wonder.
I just talked
what
to
he's
him the other day.
Yeah, how's he doing? All right, hold on. Zach is still trying to get on here. Poor guy.
Sounds like he was dragging a dead body.
Who's that?
I don't know. I heard a noise. Sounded like a dragging noise.
Hold on one second. Hold on. I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be focusing on a lot of audio this year. I might be doing some camera work.
Me, Ryan.
Hi.
I listened to one of your audios, man. It was awesome. There was all kinds of stuff going on.
It's taken a really long time. I appreciate that, but there's so much. I have so much audio compiled. It's hard to like share. So sometimes I just put it together. I don't know which one you actually listened to. Was it from the video?
Oh, I think it was just audio running with different photos.
Yeah, that was the video. So what I did is I took a couple pieces compiled from different times.
Yeah.
And I just, put them all together. But yeah, it's weird because I catch paranormal stuff too. Like, I mean, you shouldn't, at 5:30 in the morning, I shouldn't be hearing little girls' voices.
That was freaky. That was just paranormal.
Right. But I figured I'd share it. I'm going to share what I get on my recorder.
Weird. Yeah, that was weird and creepy.
That's not the half of it. Did you hear the one in there where it sounds weird? It's like the whole spectrum of audio is discombobulated.
Yeah, I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody saying Robert, but I don't know what it says, but it's really weird. And when I put it through my spectrum analyzation through like the audio, I use Audacity and a couple other programs, like the whole spectrum, like instead of like when we talk, you'll see a spike or whatever, but the whole spectrum like moved during that audio sequence. It was really weird. I appreciate it though, but that's what I'm going to focus on this year.
I want to go back and listen to that again. I didn't get a chance to re-listen, and I wanted to.
Awesome. Some of the things we get off of there are just like unreal.
Well, I see we got Zach back. Zach.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I don't know what happened.
Well, I'll tell you what, anytime anyone talks, I'll go ahead and mute myself. That way it might help prevent the audio. So
there's one thing I want to talk about, though, that we talked about last night.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's such an early start in the year. There's been such a spike in you, me, Fred's areas. Remember how Fred brought that up?
Yeah. Well, as far as I don't know where to start though. I mean, like, I've been finding a lot of interesting structures and stuff. And some of them I can't say they're fresh or nothing, but as far as the tracks and stuff, you don't know how old those are either. Some of them they could be fresh, but they look like they, judging from the type of soil that they're in, they're kind of, to me, I gather that maybe within the last few many months. I mean, we've had snow, we've had rain, so the weather does so much to it too. But I know Fred claims some. He's been seeing things out there, but but North Carolina, I know not just here, but North Carolina's been getting activity. There's been reports coming from North Carolina, which I've given them a lot of acknowledgement about. So, so I don't know. There's something going on this time of year. That's for sure.
I think that if you're going to compare it to like a human, like you guys do or whatever, it's been a really harsh winter up in New York and Canada and everywhere and across the country. If it was me, why would I want to live in those conditions when I could travel and live where it's more habitable for this time of year?
Well, yeah, that's true because we have been getting a lot of mild weather out here. I mean, I'm talking about 50 degrees. On the most average point here. I mean, yeah, we're getting cooler weather this week, but we've been getting some 50-degree weather around here. So. All right, hold on. Jen sent some more photos. Hey, Jen, are these from Greg's area?
Yes, these ones are. I think I accidentally sent one that wasn't one I'd intended to send, but this is all the same picture. Oh, they sent them they sent them backwards. Okay. Actually, dang it. So go to the bottom first.
Okay.
I think. Let's see here. Yeah, there is one in there that isn't one I intended to send you. Like Jenna's inside of this stick structure at one point.
Oh,
it's hard to see her in there. It's like right in the middle, but other than that, she's pointing at the stick structure. Squatchman's on the other side of it. But if you look inside, and I didn't see this right away, but if you look inside, it looks like there's a furry leg of some kind. It's not very big. It must be a little one. And it's dark chocolate brown.
All right, I got it sharing right now.
Wow.
Do you see it?
I better pull it up. Hang on.
And it was only in one of the pictures. I took quite a few pictures of this thing because Jenna's pointing at it saying, I don't think it's big enough for a Squatch to be in there. That's what she was saying. And he actually walked around and got into the other side of it to show her it's actually pretty big in there. And then she got in and she's like, oh, it is big in here. So
So there actually is room for like some average person to get in that.
Yeah, Jenna was in there and there was lots of room left over. We could all three of us could have gotten in there.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And it doesn't look like that when you look at it, but when she got in there, I was like, holy cow, there's room for me and you. And but we would have taken.
There's several pictures of this. There we
I changed the lighting on some of them just to see if I could see it better.
Oh, okay.
Can you see what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Most of them I didn't crop it at all. That's the actual picture that I took, and I just changed the lighting. And then sometimes I cropped it in just so I could maybe see it better.
Now in the middle, you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. Could that be like part of an animal skin or something? Or I mean, when you guys went in, did you guys notice anything when you went in?
It was only in this one picture. It wasn't in any of the other pictures.
And what are we looking at? I forgot. Sorry.
Inside the little stick structure, it looks to be like a brown chocolate furry leg that's bent up.
Yeah, this here. Now let me go through the other ones there. Now something there. Hold on.
See, now that's the same picture. I just changed the coloring of it just to see if anything, if I could see it better. You know how you do that sometimes.
All right, I see.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I'm thinking I'm picking up. I see exactly what you're talking about. All right, you guys see where my mouse is right here?
I see where your pointer is, not your mouse.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah, my pointer. Right here, where these the sticks come down right here. right here, I think what this might be that's making it look like that is actually an opening to the background, where in the back where there ain't no light, it's casting that darkness there, making it
Think so?
look like it's stalled up. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, that's what it seems like I'm picking up on that one. But yeah, it does for a second. If you don't look at it carefully, it does look like that for sure.
I
Well,
was
actually,
actually gonna.
there's a picture in there of Jenna. There, in the midst of all these pictures, there's a picture of one in there with Jenna inside, and it doesn't look like that at all. And I didn't move.
All right, let me see if I can find the one with her, and I'll keep going through them.
While he's doing that, since I don't really know you that well, I'd like to try to find out like what you believe they are, kind of like the way you proceed in your research.
You know, when I started looking for Bigfoot, I didn't know if I believed in Bigfoot at all. I
Hold
was
on.
been doing radio for a few years, and I was interviewing Lauren Coleman. It was his idea for having a group of women going into the woods. And I'm a psychic medium and I'm an animal communicator. So I thought, hey, sure, I volunteered on the air. And sorry, that's my phone going off. Hang on. I volunteered on the air and started looking for Bigfoot, but I didn't even know if I believed in Bigfoot. So we went out not having an idea of what Bigfoot was or wasn't. I went out looking to see what we found. And I still haven't formed an opinion. I'm
Don't feel
open to
bad.
all
I
of
haven't
it.
either.
I'm open to all of it. I am part Native American, and our tribe believes that Bigfoot is a solid creature that is real, that can move in between, what would you call it, realities or realms or
Dimensions.
dimensions. Yeah. They can move between this realm and the spirit realm at will. That's what our tribe believes. And so much so that Bigfoot is part of the 7 sacred teachings of the tribe, which is huge. And he represents honesty. And his name in Ojibwe is Gitchit-Sabi, which means the great honesty.
Hmm. Hey, just out of curiosity, Baltimore, with that there, is that anything you're familiar with?
The Giveaway tribe?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually went to the Giveaway tribe, and actually it was in Minnesota on Leech Lake Reservation. Yes, I was up there for a day or so. Yes,
Nice. I'm in
and
Minnesota.
oh, cool. And they make some excellent wild rice. So very incredible.
It's a staple. It's a staple.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Ryan, give me a second. I will share your photos here very shortly. There was a question on the live chat. Um, Robert Carpenter is asking, what is everyone's thoughts on why Bigfoot makes so many X's? Is it to warn others or like stay away? So I don't know who wants to start with that one.
I will.
Okay.
Well, ever since I started getting back in the field after the first of the year this year, I noticed a plethora of X's that I found. I found so far, and with the last 2 weeks when I started getting back out, I started noticing. I've counted already. I've counted finding about 20 X's already, and in the past with my research, out here in this one spot where I do behind my house. Where Bigfoot Grove used to be before we pushed it out. There was a big tree at the head of the trail, and there was 2 limbs that would be leaned up against it, and it would form an X. And I believe they go and they use the X as a form of saying, stay out. This is my turf. Because every time I would go past where those X's are, I'd go in about maybe 200 yards past that X, and business would start picking up. I'd start hearing knocks. I'd hear not wood, rock clacks. And like last week, whenever I went and I did my step back in time with me spot on Facebook where I found that Civil War cemetery, right before I got to the cemetery, I was sitting there doing Facebook Live and I heard them clacking rocks sound like Morse code. And right before that, on the other side of that open field, across the open field to the other tree line, and there in the tree line that I just come out of, there was a big X in the tree. And I do believe that's like their way of saying, you know, stay out. This is my place.
Well, that's interesting. Anyone else want to jump off or share anything off of that?
Well, I've got about 20 exes, but I don't talk to none of them.
Stupid.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, down here in South Texas, I haven't experienced any of those yet down here, though.
Mm. Yeah, I do find, you know, I have my viewpoints on X's, my opinion on them. But yeah, I will say this. When I come across certain ones, they do really excite me. Not all of them, because that's. Oh my!
That went over my head, but I caught it.
Yeah. Ryan, you started. Thanks a lot, Ryan. I just caught on what I was. I just caught on to what I was saying.
You gotta have fun.
I was gonna say, we all know you have a lot of exes there.
Oh my god.
Hey, only one of them's from Texas, though.
Oh,
anyway.
Okay, wait. Yeah. I have a question for all of the panel.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
Since Freddie's not here, I don't have nobody to pick on. So you ready?
Go for it.
Okay. So, have any of you on the panel seen a Bigfoot pick up two big logs and cross them?
Have do what? I never seen that.
Have you witnessed it?
No, I know where she's going with this, but good. No, I have not.
Okay, then we're good.
Well, hold on. I know where you're going with it too, but I did witness one during an encounter pick up a large tree that was already laying on the ground. It picked it up with its one like that and reached behind it to grab whatever it was grabbing, and it let the tree back down.
Well, that's more than anybody's ever told me before. So
I told you that during it was like that encounter I had with while I was hunting.
Which one?
Where I don't even like to talk about it. It's like where I had the paranormal experience.
Oh.
And it walked away from me as it came across the trail, and when it went out, there was the logs that were, I don't know, about 40 yards. And it just, as it walked away, it ended up bending down and grabs the log. I mean, this is a tree. It's like a 20-foot tree, 20 inches around. And it just, one arm picks it up, reaches with the other one, and it had something in its hand. I don't know what it had, but that's when it let the tree back down. There was a big, woof from the weight of the tree. It turned around and it came back toward me. That's where I was in the stand with the bow and everything else. And then it went up around this big, oak tree. And it just disappeared. That's when I had that whole situation happen.
Cool.
That's the only thing I've ever seen as far as them. I've never seen them make one or build one or, what the structures mean. But I know you're more analytical, Nikki.
Well, I believe they do make structures. I just think that the majority of them are not. But I am well aware and have seen photos and been out and found some that there's no possible way a human could do it.
Right.
Where the roots are up in the air. It's hanging. They're not nowhere near the ground. There's no stumps anywhere. And no evidence of any type of equipment that could have gotten into the area. So I know it is something.
I had a report of a structure up in northern Minnesota on a reservation by a very respectable elder. And he told me that his grandchildren found a structure in the woods way behind their house in the woods. And they came home and told them what they found. They thought it was a really cool fort. that they found. And so they went inside of it when they found it, and there was, like there was a doorway you could go in, and it looked like there was room for different ones to lay down. But at the back of it, there was a hole in the ground that went down into a tunnel. And the kids went down in there. And then they went home and told their grandparents what they found. And he had them take him out there to show him what they found. And he was terrified when he saw this thing, because on the way there, he said you could see something pulled these two giant trees out of the ground and teepeed them together, roots up in the air together, and you could walk right underneath that. And then you just keep going down off of this. It's a little logging trail. You just keep going straight underneath that and straight in. And he says, you go, oh, until you see the hogan. And I said, what's a hogan? He's like, it's like a wigwam, but it looks like a wigwam made out of sticks.
Okay.
And but it was pretty big and very intricate, and there was like no tools or nothing tied together. And it was just very well made, though. Something made this. He said it definitely wasn't a bear. And he looked inside of it, and he saw the tunnel. He didn't go down in the tunnel himself, but he could have. And he grabbed the kids and he got out of there, and he forbid them to ever go back there that far ever again. He was terrified, and he was so thankful that they were not killed, that there was nothing in there when they were in there. And it was within 2 miles of that structure that I found.
Wow.
I got a question for everybody on the panel. And
by Tracy.
Of course, I'm the young kid. I'm the young kid on the panel. I'm almost 23 years old, but I want to ask you guys a question. You guys ever used animal calls when you're out in your field research, like whenever I use a coyote howl, a locator howl, I use a cottontail in distress, and I use a owl hoot call, and that usually gets a reaction out of them. Along whenever I start doing my tree knocks with my axe handle. Have any of you ever used any kind of animal calls, and if so, have you guys ever got a reaction out of it?
I have. I actually was rattling. I actually found a couple of horns in the woods, and then I went to another area and I started to rattle in July, and I got something that was trying to come out of the woods, but it didn't come all the way out. And what was wild about it, it goes, I never feared the woods until my encounter. And so I went to another area that was maybe like around 30 miles away, and actually started to rattle. And something wanted to come out, but didn't, just stayed there in the woods. But a big fear of a big curtain of fear came over me, like, hey, I think you better stop doing this. And after that, I just stopped.
I'll tell you, that's interesting, because being a hunter, when I rattle, I've actually noticed where I've gotten tree knock responses, okay, or those sound responses, which is odd. But if you're a hunter, you kind of know certain things. When two bucks are fighting, they're keyed in on themselves, and they'll fight to the death. They don't pay attention to their surroundings or anything, especially if it's over a doe and heat or whatever the situation is, which might make sense, and that might be an opportunity if they are eating the animals to get in there and essentially kill those, or one of those two bucks. Because if you've ever really seen some two bucks or whatever, 3, 4 together fighting in rut, it's like a fight to the death. I mean, it's crazy. They're just keyed in on each other. And if they're fighting like that, you can almost walk up and be right 5 yards from them. So that could be an opportunity when they hear that, if a Sasquatch hears that, to come in and say, I could try to take advantage of this.
Yeah, as far as
that raises another question, Ryan.
Yeah, go ahead.
You talking about how bucks and rut will fight over a doe? What do you think about if two male squatches would fight over a female?
I believe that's when you get all these reports of tremendous howls and huge, tree breaks. People be talking about like, oh my God, this howl went on for 15 minutes, or it's been night after night, or we don't know if they make sounds for mating or whatever it is. But if that is the situation, I believe that you know, they do fight over females, and that's when you get all these amazing sounds or howls or, you know, calls. It's just, unless somebody witnesses it, it's too hard to know, though.
Hmm. Well,
Because
you
a lot
know,
of
as
times,
far as
oh,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Because a lot of times we get like people will get standard calls. You know, then I'm not talking about your standard whoop calls, but what you'll catch on audio is these standard non-aggressive calls, like they're just maybe regular communications. But then every once in a while, you might see a piece of audio or a YouTube video where these calls are like drastic. So there's something that's causing these to escalate, and that could be it.
Um, yeah, real quick, I'm going to add to just from some of the information I've gathered from hunters just here in the state of Virginia alone, because probably about roughly about a year ago, I did a public post in a lot of these non-Bigfoot related groups, and they were actually hunting groups. There's several different Facebook hunting groups here in Virginia, and just out of curiosity, I just wanted to see what kind of responses I get. And you know, give or take, you had a couple that mocked about the whole situation, but it actually brought a lot of people out of the woodwork sharing things that they've heard and experienced that they can't explain. Some of them, a lot of these hunters were just sitting in the woods hunting, you know, still hunting. And you know, one guy reported hearing tree knocks that were, you know, he kept hearing them around him, you know, and he's never heard that before. You know, different hunters been out in the woods and heard yells and screams that they're very unfamiliar with. I don't know what they're doing while they're out there. They never shared if they were trying to make any calls or anything. But you know, from everything they experienced and witnessed, it's nothing related to any known wildlife they could ever explain. So it's actually, like I said, it's actually brought people out of the woodwork that want to, you know, that some of them were curious enough to want to, you know, get, you know, kind of start asking questions. Um, but you know, on the most part, some of them just wanted to share their experiences, you know. Um, and then
If you
jump into
spend,
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead. If you spend enough time in the woods, I mean, let's say you're a hunter. I mean, most places you got 60 days to complete your season. There's a lot of guys that take a week straight off, 2 weeks, or some guys hunt. You know, like us, we hunt a lot. The chances of your experiences and encounters or whatever go through the roof. I mean, if you're sitting 8 hours in a tree stand or in a blind, it's just like you go into the bar. You continue to go to the bar and drink and drive home. Inevitably, you're going to get a DWI. So the more
Yeah,
time you spend in the woods, something will happen.
right. A couple things on the live chat. We all know Facebook user Bobcat Wong. His real name is Robert Carpenter. He's here on the live chat. That's who Robert Carpenter is, Bobcat Wong. So that's pretty interesting. Um, Ryan, Fred is asking you a question. He wants to know what's your theories on juvies hiding in the open.
Oh, he did hear you.
Oh, hey Ryan.
Hey,
Yeah, Fred is asking you a question on the live chat. He wants to know what's your theory on juvies hiding in the open.
well, I mean, a lot of them hide in the open. It's like your best tactic. Anything can blend into the surroundings. Like it's hard to see deer at 75 yards coming through the woods. You know, it all depends on the terrain. It depends on the situation. I don't know if juvies will hide in plain open, but I don't know. Like I said, they stay toward the ground a lot of times, and I've noticed that. And I stick to that because of what I've recorded and what I've seen, at least in my location in Western New York, where we're out there looking for something, walking around, and a lot of times they're at the bases of the trees, or they're just sitting, or they're on all fours, or maybe they're foraging, sitting down, or whatever they're doing. A lot of times they're down on the ground. So it's easier to hide in plain sight. But like I said, I mean, go in the woods, take a couple buddies with you, stand at a location. This is what we did, and let your buddies go hide. Say, go up to this area. Don't go crazy, but let them go hide. Go walk through there and see if you can find them. The only one you'll find is the one that moves. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because your eyes work on like that movement. It's like rapid eye movement. Your eyes work on movement. Otherwise,
right. Yeah, I agree with you there. Well, the other thing I was thinking about too is like, all right, let's think about, if we're comparing them or relating them to human children, I say the adults are nearby. Yeah, the adults are wise enough and smart enough. If they want to remain elusive, they're going to stay hidden. The kids are out playing in the yard, so the young ones don't have that experience and knowledge to kind of stay put. They might have that basic, okay, I can't go here, or I got to stay behind it. If I'm going to play, I got to stay behind this bush, So, but being young, they're, I would think with their adolescence, they're not knowledgeable enough to stay still or to keep themselves hidden properly. So maybe it is more, more likely for them to be spotted compared to an adult. Again, I guess that's, like I said, I'm only comparing the behaviors if we're relating them or comparing them to a human child, because we do know, like, even human children, they're not obedient completely. Some might have that fear, like, I know if I go out the yard, I'm going to get in trouble, kind of thing, So to me, I guess that would make a sense to a certain extent, that they would, get themselves caught. So,
Hey, folks.
Yeah.
I got somebody here who wants to say hi. Mama Squatchers right here. Say hi, Mama.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Marie, how you doing?
Hello.
Everybody saying hi.
Ryan.
Is my buddy Becky on there?
No. No, it's me, Ryan, reading the Steve Squatchers, Nishki, Cologne, Daniel Benoit, and Baltimore.
Hey Daniel,
Hey, how you doing?
how you doing?
Not bad, not bad. We're having a very interesting discussion here tonight.
Pardon?
I said, we're having a very interesting discussion tonight.
Yeah, they're picking on me all night.
Please give him grief. He deserves it.
Thank you. You guys heard that?
To get in the house. It's sleeping here, and I just got home from work. So y'all have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
So you guys all heard that straight from Zach's mom's mouth.
Yeah, I wouldn't go ahead and put it to work though.
All right. All right. There was another question this is coming from Tracy Arnold. He said, Daniel, ask the panel if any of them have ever seen strange lights in the woods. That's an interesting question. Anyone that I see Jen shaking her head, so we'll let Jen take this one first.
Well, I don't have to go first. I would like to hear what everybody else has to say. Anybody else? Am I the only one?
No, I've seen things. We've actually captured some type of thing on FLIR. One night we were coming back from a location down to a parking area where the vehicles were parked. And on this one occasion, my buddy takes the FLIR and he's looking at the moon. He's like, I just kind of want to see what it looks like, to see the signature from it. As he's doing that, we see this type of light, like not really high in the sky, maybe 100 foot above us. And it's this light, and it like comes across in the video, and it really doesn't seem like it has a heat signature when he captures it on FLIR. But we see this thing, it like moves across, and then it disappears, and then it like reappears, and you can hear us saying this in the video, and then it kind of just shoots off into the woods. That was like one of the first ones. But as far as lights, I've captured stuff on game camera. I've captured crazy things. We've seen blue lights. And when I actually had this encounter, that's why I'm open to the aspect. I don't know what Sasquatch is fully, and I'm not going to be prepared to say that they're flesh and blood, because that's how I started this. I started like everybody else. Well, that's what they are. Let's do what everybody else does. When you start encountering all this paranormal stuff, it opens you up. So that's kind of what I was doing. I started like paying attention to it all, and then I had this encounter where this one it just disappears. It goes behind this oak tree, And as its leg comes out, I'm waiting for its next leg to come out. And I'm in a tree stand, about 18 feet up in there, and I'm just watching. And when it disappeared, like I could not see it. It was gone. And I seen this flash of light, this blue light. And the only thing I always tell people, I refer back to your 1950s and 60s TV sets. When you like push the button, you'd get the blue line across the screen. And that's what I seen. But it was really bright and really quick. It was like, but I can't help the encounters that I've had, but I'll speak about them just to be open and honest about it.
Do you still have your blog site, bridging the gap between the woo and whatever?
Yeah, it's just a Facebook page, bridging the gap between Sasquatch and woo. Yeah, like I just share everything on there, and I'm just trying to build a format. I did the magnet test. I've done a lot of things where we've caught orbs or whatever they are. I mean, I'm just open to do whatever I need to do to get to the bottom of it. Like, if they're flesh and blood, in my opinion, they would have been found already. I think the government would have even said, this exists. It's another animal. It's like a gorilla. But there's something more to this. And as you research longer and longer, your opinions are going to start to maybe sway and be like, how can I write off that encounter? So if you're in the woods and you experience that 10 times or 20 times, you can only chalk it up so much.
Right.
I mean, maybe just certain areas are more active or have different types of energies. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've heard this from a number of people, and, and it's a lot of people do believe that they are strictly flesh and blood, for the very fact that, they like to use the, hey, they do leave tracks behind. There's something flesh and blood, they say, well, let me think of the proper way to put it. Only flesh and blood leaves tracks behind is the way a lot of people, I've heard several people say it that way. And I like, you guys know me, I like to believe that too. So, I mean, then again, could there be something totally different out there that we're maybe associating or relating to Bigfoot? Could it be something totally different? That's a possibility. But then again, I know Jen. I'm going to put Jen on the spot because me and her had a good discussion just a couple days ago, and just from what she shared with me, I found it very interesting. The thing is, until I could experience that for myself, I can't completely be pulled over to say I agree to it. But I found it interesting. She shared some real cool stuff with me, and so. But I'm going to give somebody else a chance before we put Jen on the spot quite yet. I don't know if she's ready yet. What about you, Baldmar? Okay.
On the area that people had a lot of encounters with Bigfoot there, they have actually have been reported these strange lights in the creek area. For us, this mainly happens in the creeks. And then there's some areas that they were talking about some UFO that actually landed there, and I went out there and checked this area out, and to this day, hardly any grass grows there. There's some areas that are just nothing but a sandy loam, and you can actually see the deformities of the roots and the cactuses that actually grows there. But also too, there's also been encounters where one area where a Bigfoot has been seen, there's actually was a big cave there, and a couple of people were actually driving different vehicles, and actually having a blue light come right above their trucks, and all of a sudden their vehicles turn on. And then they all get out and they just look at this big old blue light, this big old crap going over their heads. And one driver looks to the other driver and says, "Are you looking at? Are you seeing this?" He goes, "I'm seeing this, but I just don't believe it." And then all of a sudden, the craft or whatever it was totally went past their vehicles, and then all of a sudden their vehicle lights turn on. And then all of a sudden their trucks turn on, and they take off. And they stopped like a quarter of a mile away. He goes, "What in the world was that?" And goes, "Well, you know exactly what that was." So
That's
yeah.
actually that's interesting you say that. I just want to interject real quick because I have an area not far from me in Erie, Pennsylvania, Presque Isle, and in like 1965 or 66, there was like a flurry of witnesses seeing UFOs, and not too long after that, like within one day, a flurry of Bigfoot sightings had been reported. And you can actually check that out online. Like the police investigated it; they had a lot of things, and I think they even found some tracks. And one lady had said they were like by this beach area, and it came out of the woods, and like it was coming up to her car or something. It was like crazy. So I don't know if the two are correlated, but you'll never know.
Interesting.
Interesting.
You was
All right, well, what
talking
about
about being lights. I was just talking to Gene, my boss, the other day. Um, Thursday we was going up through the heights of West Frankfort, and I was just trying to make conversation with him, and I said, was there, and whenever you was growing up, was there any kind of like boogeyman running around reports up there in West Frankfort? He said there wasn't no boogeyman, but there was something paranormal going on. He said they used to go up up on the top of this hill where this old cemetery was, and they used to go sit up there and park. But right down at the bottom of the hill, right now there is well, now today is a swamp area that they cleared out, and they was going to use that to put in a coal mine and a power plant. But then they went, and before that, it was all overgrown trees. He said there used to be what they used to call swamp fire that used to go all along through there.
Jesus Christ, Puppy.
Interesting.
Well, if you want to know about the lights up here, we've had lots of things go on with the lights in the woods here, and it's even in the water. There's lights in the water that come out of the water, and they're different colors. That we've seen ones that look like balls of fire. We've seen ones that are blue. We've seen the green ones that are the exact color. It looks like a traffic light. If you plucked the green light out of a traffic light and just had the light of that flying around, it looks just like that, except they can be up to be like basketball size. I've seen those, like it's almost as if they're skipping above the treetops, but without touching the tops of the trees. And we've had those green ones following us when we were in the woods, and we didn't actually notice it because we were doing an experiment as the sheep watchers. We were seeing if this one hotspot location that we found, we took a couple of guys with us out there to see if it would be different, and it just felt like a different place. So I said to my fellow teammate, I said, we need to ditch these guys. So we actually had them drop us off and drive away, and we just kept a walkie-talkie for them to come back and get us when we needed them. And they were sitting a ways away, but they could see kind of where we were because they could see when we would use our flashlights, they could kind of see where we were at from a distance. And my teammate's husband said he was watching this green light, like following us above the trees wherever we were going. When we would turn on our flashlights, he could see where we were at. And he said this green light was right, and they were really tall trees. He said he figured we saw it, but we didn't. We weren't looking up behind us. And then later on, the locals had mentioned that they usually see these green lights appear, and they have a saying locally, and this is on the Cass Lake Indian Reservation in Minnesota. It's a Ojibwe reservation. There's lots of Ojibwe reservations in Minnesota. My mom is a member of the Red Lake Band in northern Minnesota. And there's Cass Lake, Leech Lake, Mille Lacs, Fond du Lac, and I mean it goes on and on and on. There's lots of them. But this was actually on Cass Lake Reservation, and the locals there say when the green lights appear, you know that Bigfoot is near, because Bigfoot always shows up right after the green lights. And they're really, really open about their Bigfoot at Cass Lake. Very open about it. When we've gone there to talk to the locals, the place packs up, and everybody wants to come and talk about what they've experienced. They want to hear from everybody else. Now, I know that from my own experience with like the spiritual leaders of my tribe, And interactions that I've had with these, I call them light beings or water spirits, maybe. Um, I don't think they're UFOs, even though the orange ones that look like fire, they're actually classified as the most commonly reported UFO to MUFON all over the world. They're the most commonly reported UFO is the classic orange orb UFO. It looks like a ball of fire, about the size of a basketball, and they, you know, really became reported during World War II when they became known as the Foo Fighters. During World War II, when the military pilots were seeing them and having trouble keeping up with them because they fly so fast and can take right turns at very high speeds, almost as if they were playing with the pilots during the war. And at first, they thought they were some type of new enemy something, but then they quickly realized this has nothing to do with our enemy. And it just always went unexplained. But you know, on my particular reservation, I've seen these come out of the water. They do interact with some people, normally children. I actually have had interactions with some of them. They're very intelligent. So are they connected with Bigfoot? I think that they are. I think in some way, shape, or form they are. Our tribe believes that that Bigfoot is one of the little people, not necessarily that he's little at all, but in that classification of being as a little people. There's different kinds. There's the rock giants. There's different kinds. There's one particular. I'm actually part Ojibwe and part Dakota. In Dakota, you could go down to Sicha Hollow, which is in South Dakota, where there are tons of Bigfoot reportings there. And the locals there, the local natives there, have told me that Bigfoot is always with the Chahotanas down there. And Chahotana is actually a Dakota word, but it's spelled Canotina, Canotina, but it's pronounced Chahotana. And they are the little people of the woodlands or the woodland trees. And they look just like Bigfoot, except they're small and they never get bigger. It's not like they're baby Bigfoots at all, but the local native people there tell you that very openly that Bigfoot hangs out with them all the time. And from what I've seen and felt and experienced on my own, and even in talking with the elders of the tribe, Bigfoot is often with the little people.
Now,
And it's a big part of the belief system. Yep.
I just thought about something, and I don't know why I didn't think about this the other day when you were when you brought that up. Now I know, you hear of devil monkeys. Yeah, they're estimated to be small. Some will say that from what I looked up, they've been known to some described up to possibly 5 feet tall, and most of them, excuse me, a lot smaller. Could that be a possibility that they could be some kind of like you said, they're like a Bigfoot but smaller? Could that be a possibility? They just could be just a dwarf type Bigfoot, which they've been reported in other countries and stuff.
It's a possibility. I mean, I've actually seen one of the Chahotanas before I even knew anything about them. I interacted with one in the woods, and I told you about that, Daniel.
Yeah.
Where I had asked the spirits of the woods to tell me if I was harming this tree because I didn't want to harm the tree by planting this, digging up the soil too much. And I waited, didn't hear anything, and I started to dig again. And then something growled in my ear, and out of my peripheral vision, I caught sight of it, and it looked like some type of little Bigfoot looking thing, but it was not more than 3 or 4 feet tall, and it was hanging down from the tree and like growled in my ear.
Oh,
and I was like, all right, thank you for telling me. I will stop. And it wasn't being aggressive towards me. I asked a question and it gave me an answer.
Yeah, I remember you sharing that. That's why I found that very interesting.
So,
oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to mention real quick. Linda Turner on the live chat said I've seen them here in Maine, so that's interesting.
The little ones or the big ones?
I'm not sure. Linda, if you could tell us what you were referring to, let us know. But she may be referring to the little ones. So I don't know. Let's see if she responds to that.
Now, when we were out on a Bigfoot hunt we were on the White Earth Indian Reservation, also Ojibwe. Actually, that's a mixed reservation. There's also Dakota on that one. And we were out in the middle of the woods, and we were walking on this logging road. We're often on logging roads. And there is one member of my team. She is also Native American, but she's closer to full blood than I ever am. But she's the only other person on our team that actually saw these lights. And I'm wondering if they moved too fast for most people to see. Now, I saw them zip above the tree line above us over the opening of the roadway. And it's like they went zip, 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 back and forth 4 times really fast. Nikki Jordan, she's my teammate. She saw them go by only 1 time, but where I saw them 4 times, and no one else saw them at all. Now, part of this has to come into play when one or two people are seeing it and the rest of them are not. You have to kind of wonder why. Is there some reason why some would see and some would not? And then you have to start to think about how the brain works and perception. And, science tells us that the brain works at 400 billion bytes per second, but the average human is only consciously aware of 2,000 bytes per second. That's out of 400 billion bytes of information. 2,000 is almost nothing. I tried to make a pie chart of this and it wouldn't even show up. I had to lie about the 2,000, making it a lot bigger for it to even show up as a hair on a full pie chart. So if you can imagine $400 million bills falling from the ceiling every single second, and knowing that you can only see, feel, taste, and be aware of 2,000 of them every single second, that's almost nothing. So what are the chances that we all see, hear, feel, and taste and become aware of consciously the same things as everyone else around us? The chances are almost nothing that we would all perceive the same thing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
My
Linda
brain hurts
replied.
now.
She said she's seen the little and big ones. And then she also goes on to say she's a big one breathed down her neck with a bone rattling humph is the way she spelled it. HUMPH. So I don't know. That's interesting. And for one to breathe down her neck, that's actually pretty close. That's like right there on top of you.
I was going to ask Jen. She said earlier that I didn't know if she was. She said she was digging. Were you physically digging, or were you digging like asking questions?
I was digging. I had purchased some morel mushroom spawn, and I was trying to plant this in the woods on some of my property. I have some lake property in Minnesota, and I was trying to plant it in my backwoods. And the instructions said that they like elm trees, so I'm like, "Ooh, I have a couple elm trees back there." And I went back there, and it's on the edge of a field that's also on my property. I did not realize there was so much rock there that the farmers, when they cleared the rock from the fields, they would throw it into the tree line, right? Well, so when I started to dig down into the soil, I couldn't find the soil. I had to remove all this rock first. And then I found the soil and I started to loosen the soil and following the directions to plant this spawn. And I realized I've removed a lot of rock from the top of the soil here, and now I'm loosening the soil at the base of this very large tree that's already kind of tilting a little bit. And I thought, I wonder if this isn't good for the tree. So I just stopped. And that's why I asked the spirits of the forest to tell me, I said, I don't want to hurt this tree. I'm just trying to bring more life to the forest. Can you please tell me if this is going to hurt the tree? Because I will stop immediately. And I just kind of waited. Nothing happened. So I went back to loosening the soil, to mixing it in with the soil. And that's when this thing popped down and growled in my ear. And I just said, thank you very much. I'll stop now.
Well, I was referencing that because that's interesting because two of my encounters came while I was digging. See, I got into this not because I wanted to, but because I was an avid metal detectorist, doing the old home site thing, digging in the ground, looking for stuff, and so that's why I was wondering if digging had something to do with running into them or having some type of encounter with them. I don't know, but that I was trying to correlate the two is what I was wondering, but that's cool.
If you go, I believe that if you go into the woods, being connected to the woods and what my native elders would call being in harmony with nature, there's an energy that flows within all things that are we call it being in harmony. You can be in harmony with people. You can be in harmony with all things around you. And so when you go into the forest in harmony, and and you can ask a question. You don't have to speak a particular language, in my opinion. You can ask a heartfelt question, and they'll answer you the best that they can. It always works for me.
It's interesting. You know, I was just trying to correlate the two with you digging, me digging, and I didn't know if there was something. I'm gonna have to check into that. Maybe I'll I don't know. I want to take my metal detector out a little bit more while I was actually doing investigations, but try to be nonchalant about it because I didn't know if it was something like the sounds or the frequency that they were interpreting or hearing that they would come in. Where I had these two encounters, that's what got me started, like I said. But now that you're saying you had some type of encounter while you were, actually tearing up the soil, that's what we were doing. You dig your plug, you fill it back in, and so
I wanted to reach out to Zach and see if Zach wanted to share anything on this. Zach, you've actually had some interesting things. You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's related to this, but you have shared some pretty interesting things along other encounters. Have you ever experienced anything? Um, I guess you could say what started this whole conversation. As far as anything to do with light or anything paranormal to, uh, I don't know. If you've been listening, you'll know what we're talking about. Are you there,
Well,
Zach?
yeah, I'm here. Well, I
I
try
don't
not to
think he
Okay.
go
is.
and
Okay. His icon's on there, but I
correlate.
guess he's not unless he's muted.
No, I was
So,
muted for a while. I
okay.
was eating a
Well, there goes
hamburger.
Zach. So,
No,
um,
what I
well,
would
I'll tell you
I
what,
try
ladies
to
and gentlemen on the live chat, if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask away. We'll be on here another probably between 10 p.m. to 10:30. We've actually been going on for about almost 2 hours already, so that's pretty cool.
I'm
Hey,
actually
I got a
I
question to ask.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. Go
actually
ahead,
gonna
Baldo.
hop off.
Hey, Jen, when you're in the when you go out there in the woods, have you ever burned sweetgrass or sage and got a response from the Bigfoot?
You know, I when I went out in our big expedition this year, it was up actually on my reservation, not far from the. It's the it's from a healing lodge where I was named in the ceremony,
Hmm.
and it's where I did a lot of my native elder who named me. Um, he had a lot of we called it an outdoor classroom. He had a lot of classes out there, and I ended up teaching out there with him sometimes. And so and he always talked about the little people that were helping him there that would help him with that work. And so when I knew I was going to be up on the reservation looking for Bigfoot, I went up there and I walked the medicine wheel prayer circle. You walk it and you do the special prayer, giving
Right.
tobacco, offering, and I did burn some sage and some cedar and sweetgrass, and did a tobacco offering. And I walked into the woods there. We have a meditation trail right off of that, and where the little people were known to live on this trail out in the back of this woods. And I walked back there, and I just called out to them and gave an offering. And I said, hey, I'm going to be looking for Bigfoot out here. I'm hoping maybe you guys can help me out, find some things, and keep us safe out there. And then we went on our way. And it's my personal belief that they were guiding me that day. Um, because there was two. I do remote viewing when I'm looking for Bigfoot, and it's a process that I've used to help finding missing people over the years, and I've used it when I was helping paranormal investigative teams as well. I look at the properties they're going to before they ever go there, and it's a bizarre thing that I've helped find people and identify things that other people didn't know about before they even got there. So I've used this to try to look for Bigfoot before we ever go there. So I had identified some areas where I saw a giant Bigfoot face in my remote view, and so I marked that area. And then about 200 feet away from there, lit up as an area that had Bigfoot evidence we could collect when I was
Wow.
asking those questions. So there was a trail an old logging trail that was very overgrown that went right through those two locations. And I had only seen it from above and satellite imagery. And I was praying, please let this be a drivable trail because that's really deep in the woods. And, and it was. I did have to have repairs done on my car afterwards, but we did drive it. And we parked right between those two places. And immediately I was going to go right towards this giant face that to me, immediately, every time I looked at it on the map, it looked like an aggressive male to me. And I was a little scared, which I had never felt scared like that of a Bigfoot before. And so that idea was really shocking to me, but yet I was still going to go straight for that. I was going to go straight for it. And so I'm standing on the edge of the road waiting for my teammate to come get ready. She's grabbing her stuff. And I'm just focusing in on the woods and seeing if I can sense anything or see anything out there. Because I said it's 100 feet straight out, right? Just don't turn, just go straight. And I took one step off the road and these rocks started falling in front of me a few feet. And I just stopped and it's daylight. It's not nighttime and it's daylight. And I'm looking around going, okay, I've had rocks thrown at me before in front of me. It felt very playful. This time it felt like, don't go this way. Do not go this way. Where before it felt playful. And so I just stopped and I tried to see if I could see where the rocks were coming from. And I felt like these were the little people telling me, do not do this. Don't go that way. So I was like, all right, scary area that I thought in the first place. Why was I going to go that way anyway? Let's go the other way. That didn't feel scary. So we went the other way and we found this big stick structure, which had weaved, like there was 8 to 10 feet tall old trees that were like stripped. So they were just big, tall sticks that were weaved together, making this tall fenced in area around this thing. We had to move to get inside of it. It was a huge area. And I didn't realize that the whole thing was fenced in until I tried to leave a different way and I couldn't get out. And then I got really freaked out when I realized how big this thing really was. I was like, holy cow, this is huge. I didn't realize this whole area was fenced in. And you know, I didn't even really realize that it was a weaved thing at the time that we were there. I noticed it on our video after, and because I was so focused on the structure itself and I kept sensing that I thought something was in it, and to not get too close to it. So I was like, my focus was on this, not on the stuff that we were moving to get in beyond it. And I was still trying to pretend like I wasn't noticing there was something there, but yet keep my distance from it so that we could still keep filming. It was a really bizarre time. And I can't even remember what the original question was. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm the same way though.
What was the original question?
I asked if you ever burned like sweetgrass and sage before you went onto into the area to go look for Bigfoot, but you answered that question quite well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I actually danced in Minnesota at the Leech Lake Reservation many years ago. And they actually gave me a beautiful necklace of a beautiful rosette, and which I still have to this day. And I would love to go back there again one of these days.
You know, the one powwow that I go to every year is the Ponema Labor Day powwow up in Ponema, Minnesota. It's traditional, and you should check it out. You should check it out.
Cool.
It's a 4-day powwow.
All right.
Yeah. You should check it out. I'll always be there.
Great.
Very cool. Real quick, Zach, if you're listening, I think you're muted. Or
no, I'm
are
not.
you there? Oh, okay. Because they were showing that you were muted a little while ago.
Yeah, because I've been coughing and clearing my throat.
Ah, okay.
I didn't want to blast nobody's ears.
Well, I got a question on the live chat, but before we do that, I wanted to give you a chance to respond to the question that we were addressing. It was from the live chat. I believe it was the one about what was it about the
Bigfoot and paranormal?
Yeah, like have you ever seen any lights during an encounter or a sighting or anywhere, any strange lights in the woods?
No, I haven't. But you got to remember, Southern Illinois back in the 20s and 30s was a very bloody place, and they actually wrote a book on it called Bloody Williamson. The county I live in, it was back during the gang wars, the Klan wars, with Charlie Berger, L'Oreal Price, uh, Glenn Young.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Zach, we lost him again.
Yep.
Okay, well, he was getting into giving us a history lesson, and then oh Lord, Zach's famous for that. I don't know. I'm sure he'll pop back on here shortly. But here's a new question on the live chat, and I've heard this one asked before. This is coming from Bobcat Wong. Does everyone, or well, I don't know, I guess this is the way he's asking. Does everyone think Bigfoot could read minds? And then right after that, Linda Turner says, "I think they know your intentions." So I guess that's kind of like okay.
But
Well,
yeah, I had my phone sitting on my knee here, and I was watching it, and then the signal got down low. But like I was saying, Southern Illinois back in the 20s and 30s was a very bloody place where they wrote the book Blood Williamson, where we had the gang war during the Depression and the Prohibition era. We had a lot of bootleggers. We had a lot of mass murders happen out here. Um, but Southern Illinois is a very haunted place. I never associated UFOs the like with Bigfoot. Usually, whenever I'm out in the woods, like I had in April of last year, where I got run out of the woods, I was hearing what I believe to be the spirits was talking to me. I was hearing like up on the ridge and close to me. I was hearing my name going, Zach, just real light. It sounded like it was traveling on the wind, very light whispering. And I talked about it on my spot on Bigfoot Eyewitness Radio with Vic Cundiff. And I always try to listen to my surroundings. If there's an unearthly feel, I try to pay attention to it and try to follow my gut. But well, really, I don't associate the the paranormal and UFOs with Bigfoot. I'm more of what I guess you could call me to be like a behavioral study, behavioral researcher. I'd go out there and I try and get them to give their location away. I try to get them to basically, like show their hand to me, and I document their behavior, so to speak, whenever they're not right in front of me, but the certain little signs they give off, like the whoops, howls, tree knocks, rock clacks, whistles, little size of structures. The size and structures usually will attribute to how aggressive. The bigger the structure usually means the bigger the male, and usually the bigger the male, the bigger the mean streak. And I studied their behavioral, so to speak. I'm sort of kind of like a Jane Goodall, if you want to put it that way, of whenever it comes to Bigfoot, because I try to study the behavior. I go in the woods, I try to get a reaction out of them. That's the reason I'm always out there tooting on that owl hoot call.
hmm. So, so you're the Jane Goodall of Bigfoot today, huh?
Basically, I wouldn't say that, but I mean, basically, that's from what I've read and everything on Jen Goodall. She was studying the behavioral and mannerisms, and that's what I basically try to do. And not only that, whenever I go in the woods, I try to put myself in the place of a Sasquatch. I try to see things through their eyes. I'm not saying telepathic thing. I'm just trying to, like, how you is Ryan, if Ryan's still on here, or Baltimore, whenever you're out deer hunting, you try to go in your preparation going to the big hunt. You try to go and put yourself in the eyes of the deer that you're trailing, that trophy buck you're trying to get, and you're trying to harvest. You try to go and put yourself in that deer's place and try to basically get a step up on them.
Yeah, it's basically trying to get a mindset of trying to think like the animal, more or less.
That's what I try. I try to think like a squatch.
Yeah. Yeah. For the record, I admire Jane Goodall, and I'll tell you what. Just this is totally off subject, but it made me think. For all those out there that do believe in habituating, or what they think is habituating, Jane Goodall and Ian Redmond, to me, in my opinion, they're the true habituators of primates. And the way they had interaction, to study and observe, and so I admire the both of them. I do a lot of research on them and their work, and it kind of inspires me to do more of my research with what they do. I can't be like them. I'm not like them. I don't have the interaction that they do. But as far as the conservation work that they do, that's where I admire a lot of what they do. But yeah, they're very knowledgeable people in the primate world. So
I'm trying to work on these two experiments that I'm going to try with, I guess you could put them in the habituation category, where I'm sitting there today in the chair watching my two kittens play, and we have a mirror set up on the back of the couch that we're going to hang up. And I was watching them play, and then whenever they see the reflection in that mirror, they would go and they were very curious. They would pay attention to it. And that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and buy a cheap full body mirror, and I'm going to set it up in the woods, and I'm going to paint it to where the lining and the trim on it is more camouflaged. And I'm going to do that and train a video camera directly at the mirror itself, and all that, use that as a way of seeing behind the camera, because you see the reflection of anything behind the camera is going to set it off. So it's kind of like a two-way trigger. Because you know how they say Bigfoot will come up behind the camera and tap it, and you can hear it on the audio where it was tapping it with a stick. So hopefully I can catch one like that. And only that, I want to try and because I study the habits of the wildlife out here. I'm going to do a checkerboard experiment that I talked about a month ago on one of your live chats, where I'm going to take and screw it down to a stump, and I'm going to crazy glue the pieces to the checkerboard, because of the glossy finish. It's going to attract animals, and hopefully it will attract the food source, and hopefully Bigfoot will go and follow.
Oh, go ahead, Jen.
Surprised what goes through my head.
I just had the idea to tell you guys this. I had a dream, and it's just a dream, and I thought about, I wonder if we should try this. I dreamt that we were out in a Bigfoot hotspot, and it wasn't my hotspot, so wherever I was, and I was with some other Bigfoot people that I guess I didn't know at the time I had the dream. And we had set up some tree swings, the old-fashioned tree swings, that good old-fashioned rope tied to a heavy limb, and just a regular board at the bottom to swing on. And one of us swing on the swing and had a good old time on the swing, and then we put some apples on the swing and we left, just to see if they would be watching and if they would play with that swing. And that would be maybe a fun experiment.
That's a good idea.
So if you guys try that, you have to let me know how it goes, because it's winter here. So I'm trying to live vicariously through you.
Well, Jen, you've been talking about wanting to move back to Virginia, so there you go.
Well, I don't know that I want to move back to Virginia. My dad was trying to convince me of that years ago. Remember, that's what I said. No, I don't know, but I don't think I don't. It's too hot there in the summertime. Are you kidding me? But at this time of
about hot. You talk about hot. You should be in Southern Illinois during the hot summer when you're wearing the air.
Oh, it's too hot and humid.
Yeah.
I'm a northern girl. It's cool, nice and cool up here. Even in the summertime, it's warm for me at 80 degrees. And we don't have we have humidity here, but it's not like Virginia humidity. I'm telling you that you can cut that air.
I think it's been some years. I remember there was a summer, probably back, I don't know, back in the 90s. I can remember it was one summer it reached, we talking about up in the hundreds, like 100, 110 degrees. I mean, but hey, I know, like, Baltimore and Nikki, they're down in Texas, so I know they got some hot summers down there too. I'm sure. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
the three of us survived that heat wave that happened here back in 2013, 2012, where it was it was in the 110s for every day for about 3 months straight.
Mm.
Oh, that happens here every year.
But Baltimore not only has the heat, he has the humidity too.
Exactly.
Oh God.
I just have the heat. It's real dry here.
So wait, how far apart are you two?
About 8 hours, 9
Oh,
hours.
oh, okay. I keep forgetting Texas is a big state.
Oh
Kind of
yeah.
like,
Take you 2 days to get through Texas.
yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, because I know from Virginia to Massachusetts, where I'm from, if you take Interstate 95, which is the main travel route from pretty much from Maine to Florida, that's like an 8 hour drive. That's the short way too. uh, yeah, the other way is if you want to take the back, go up through the mountains, or take 81 to, it's 81
Y'all
to
live farther
84.
from me.
Yeah, so
I
It's a 10.5
literally
hour drive from
live.
here to Virginia.
I
yeah, you're
literally live on the corner, where New Mexico, Mexico, and Texas combined. I live 2 miles from Mexico, from no, from New Mexico, 5 miles from Mexico, but I'm in Texas.
ah. Mm-mm-mm.
I got a question for Jen.
Yeah.
Um, I've always it seems like Bigfoot has a lot of Native American Indian behaviors, and I was going to check if you see the same thing. Like the houses that they built, some of the stuff that they do. I was going to get your opinion upon that.
That's a good question. Good question.
You know, there's a lot of connections between the native people up here and Bigfoot. They talk about there's all the traditional stories. I'm assuming you're Native American. You
Yes, sir.
look Native American. I don't, which tribe are you from?
I am part of the Lapana Paches here in South Texas.
Nice, nice. Well, bonjour to you. I don't know how to say hello to you in your language, but bonjour to you. um, the uh, the connection with Bigfoot, there's a lot of traditional stories up here that talk about how Bigfoot came to the people and said that he would always be with the people. He would always be nearby the people. And by the time I heard this story, I had realized that I have been mostly looking for Bigfoot on Indian reservations because that's where he seems to be. And I thought, well, that is very interesting because that's where I'm always looking. I never felt like he was anywhere else really. And there's a lot of stories. I know an Ojibwe elder who is on the Couchiching Reserve in the Couchiching Ojibwe Reserve in Canada in Ontario, and he claims that when he was a child, Bigfoot in spirit form would come and take him at night and teach him about the medicines and the ways of right being. And this went on throughout his childhood. And I don't know this particular elder. I know somebody who was friends with him growing up. And he says that, he always knew things that nobody else knew. He would stump people all the time. And everybody's like, where are you getting this? And he would say, Bigfoot in spirit form is coming and taking me at night and teaching me all these things. Well, this is a story I've heard at various reservations all around where Bigfoot in spirit form is taking children and teaching them ways of medicine, plant medicines, and other things as well. I found that very, very interesting. And the peaceful feeling that I get when I'm in an area where I know Bigfoot is right there. It's such a peaceful feeling. It's not, initially I had fear, a little bit of fear, like, oh my gosh, I'm really close and I know it's right there. I can feel it. But then when that passed, I just felt very, very peaceful, like I was completely safe. And that they knew who I was and that I was a risk to them at all. You know, because even if I found their village, I would never ever tell anybody where it was.
Well,
You
it's
know,
funny. It's funny you
secret
say that
society.
about feeling peaceful. That's exactly how I felt back in 2014 when there was 6 of us all together who had our encounter. And after observing them, I mean, the whole time, I don't think none of us were scared, frightened. I mean, I guess because we were together, that might have been part of that. However, as we were walking after, it was done, when we were walking and working our way back towards our camp, I really did. I felt like I never felt so calm and relaxed before out in the woods like that. It was just that overwhelming relaxation I was feeling, and I was so calm. But I guess somewhere inside, I was still feeling excited. You would think there would be adrenaline flowing through you, I was so calm and relaxed. I can't explain it, but I do recall that's how exactly how I felt. I didn't fear. I don't think none of us have felt any fear. You know,
Y'all ain't been to
um,
Southern Illinois yet, then.
well, that was just that one encounter. I've had other incidents, but that was just that one. So, but it was interesting how she mentioned that. I
I
wanted to
did
share that.
I did feel that cautionary fear from that one area though, and I felt very strongly that that was an aggressive male, and that and I felt cautioned to stay away from that area.
Right.
But I think it's cool that we can be guided like that in the woods.
Right.
you know, and I think that when you're in harmony with nature like that, you can walk through the woods as part of it, just because we are part of nature. A lot of people, humans seem to think of themselves as separate from nature, but we're all part of nature. We should consider ourselves as part of that. They were all related to everything.
Yeah,
Right.
Linda Turner mentioned that she grew up on. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Grew up on the Wampanoag Reservation in Massachusetts. She said, "I've always felt something there. I was always in the woods." And she mentioned that's out towards Cape Cod, which is on the way on the eastern shore. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, that's
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
See, well,
No.
I'm we're all sitting here talking about Native American lineage. I'm 1/10 Cherokee, and I've tried. That's one thing I want to bring up, and it's where. And Daniel, you know where I'm going with this about where you hear of them having reaction from Native American language being spoke to them. What do you guys take on this? This is a question, but I'm asking Miss Jen in general.
Well, on our very first time out, we went to us. See, when we first started looking for Bigfoot again, I didn't know if Bigfoot was real or not, but I was open to the idea to go find out. And on our very first time out, we knew that there had been a sighting at this one particular lake. We knew it was at an area where you could launch your boat. And when I looked at the map of this place, there was only one boat launch from this lake that wasn't on a private residence. And we heard it was a public boat launch, which was on the side of a lake where there was a lot of homes and cabins. But the whole other side of the lake was very wooded, and there was not a single home on the other side of the lake. So I thought, that doesn't make sense that it would be over there. Makes more sense to me, but that Bigfoot would be on the other side of the lake. So we drove on this road that went on that one side of the lake where I felt Bigfoot would be more likely to be. And I wanted to see if we could sense areas that we should look for Bigfoot at just simply by going that way. We didn't contact any witnesses. We didn't contact the local Bigfoot people. We went in with only knowing that there had been a sighting by a boat launch on this lake. That's all we knew. And the lake is huge. It's about 6 miles long. So it was a big lake. And so we're driving around it on the side of the lake that we think is the wrong side because it's the wrong other side of the lake from the boat launch. And I'm feeling energetically the woods and the area, just seeing marking the locations that I felt were feeling an interesting energy form. And so I said, stop the car here. Let's get out. We'd get out and look. And sometimes we would find like some footprints that weren't deep enough to cast, but they were definitely bigger than our feet. And they were 14, 18 inches long. So that was pretty cool. And the stride was so big that I couldn't match it, and I was the tallest one on our team, and I was running and leaping, and I couldn't come near that stride. We didn't have any tape measures or casting material because, again, this was our first time. We didn't expect to find anything. We didn't bring anything like that with us. We were just seeing what we could feel. And so we were marking these spots, and there was one spot that I felt the strongest energy at. And I said, we need to come back here tonight. We need to come back here. Even though they said, oh, my teammates are like, we didn't find any footprints there at all. I'm like, I don't care. There's something here. We're coming back here. Um, and we did go back there that night. And we had the most crazy experience there. We could hear, well, first when we got out of the car, it was pitch black in the woods. There was no ambient light whatsoever. It was pitch dark. And one of my teammates had borrowed a thermal FLIR, one that has a trigger on it that you can pull the trigger and take a picture. She didn't even know how to use it. She didn't know it could take video. So of course, because she didn't know that, we weren't taking video, we were doing point and shoots, right? And she handed it to me when she went to get her things out of the car. Everybody had their stuff in the back hatch. And so I took the FLIR and I was standing at the front of the vehicle, pointing it down the road where we can't see anything. And all of a sudden I see this very large humanoid red shape show up standing about 20 feet in front of the car. And immediately I thought, oh, one of my teammates walked ahead of the car, right? And I said, oh, who's in front of the car? No answer. And I said, hey, who's in front of the car? No answer. I'm like, who's in front of the car? You know, and again, nobody answered. Now they're hearing my panic, so they run up towards me, and all of them were at the back of the vehicle getting their stuff out. None of them was in front of the car. And as I'm sitting there looking at it, it suddenly just is gone, because Marlo had said she saw some eyes or something, and then I looked up and I looked back and it was not on my screen anymore. So that was really bizarre. That's how it started out. But then a little bit later, we could hear something very large moving, a bipedal movement towards us. The sticks were breaking. It was very, very loud. And we had everything, all of our equipment that we had. I think how many of us were out there? There was 5 of us out there. And so we had night vision cameras with infrared. We had a FLIR. We had giant flashlights that could light up the whole woods. We had like all kinds of different equipment. We couldn't see it with a flashlight. We couldn't light it up and see anything. Although it was moving towards us and continuously walking towards us, we couldn't see it. The trees weren't wide enough for something that big to keep walking and still hide behind it. We couldn't see anything on the thermal camera. We couldn't see anything with the night vision. And so I'm standing there dumbfounded, because I'm like, I thought we should be able to see it on something. But we couldn't see anything, and it's obviously moving towards us. And some of my teammates were very, very afraid. And because this thing is obviously closer and closer and closer. And pretty soon it was almost like they snapped a finger and all of a sudden something was coming at us from different directions. And so instinctively we went back to back in a circle facing out. And for a moment, I actually observed us and I thought, wow, we never even talked about what we do in a defensive situation. And we're just automatically taking that stance. You know, I thought, oh, that's impressive. Look at us. Good job, girls. But some of them were just terrified. And I kept saying, I do not sense danger. Stop being afraid. I do not sense danger. They're playing with us. And they kept, you know, some of them were just terrified. And one of them said, Jen, do your tobacco thing, which, you know, in the Ojibwe traditional prayers offer tobacco. And so I said, okay. So I took the tobacco out and I began speaking and praying in Ojibwe out loud. And immediately it all stopped. Everything just stopped. It didn't walk away. Nothing. It just stopped, like it was gone. And then they said, okay, let's go. They were ready to leave. They didn't want to stay there anymore. They were terrified. And so we get back in the car. And well, before we get in the car, we're gathering our things. And one of our teammates was standing right in front of me, just a few feet. And she had her back to the road. The longer, further, if we were to drive down the road, she had her back to that. And I could see very clearly because we had turned the lights on the car, which was facing that way, light lit up. Now the road is lit up. And something that I could not see, even though everything's lit up, came up on the road and did a stomp, stomp, stomp right behind her. And we jumped in the car and left. I mean, but we could feel it shake the ground. Stomp, 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 like right behind her. And there was nothing there. We couldn't see it.
Wow.
That's
Go ahead, Zach.
Oh, there's one thing that brought back an encounter that happened with me I haven't told very many people about. Trying to think whenever it happened. I think it happened in about August of 2016. Me and my grandfather was out working on our disc mower. It had blown the dome on it, on the bump dome underneath the cutter. And we was working on it in the dark of the night, and we had set of floodlights to illuminate where we was working. And we got done, and he says, "Go ahead and put up everything, and I'm gonna go inside." So I'm sitting there putting everything up, and I put the light up last. Well, me being an idiot like I did, I grabbed a hold of the floodlight right below where the lights are on the bar and burnt the tar out of my hand. And I dropped the set of the floodlights where they was at, and they shine right up into the tree line next to our pole barn. And standing there not 20 foot away was a big brown squatch, and it was just sitting there watching us. And he's just sitting, apparently he'd been there for a while, because I'd been hearing stuff all night. Grandpa can't hear himself think half the time because he's half deaf in one ear. And we had all the power tools running, and and I don't know how long this sucker had been standing there. Any kind of deer would have run off. And I just sat there and I watched him, and I looked at him. And he just smacked his hand off a tree, and you could hear his knuckles knock on that tree like you knock on a door real hard. And he just took off. And that's the only time that I really haven't felt any kind of aggressive stance toward with a Bigfoot. Every other time I've had encounters, it's always been on an aggressive stance.
All right, interesting. Hey, we got a couple questions we could try to address on the live chat. One was from Bobcat Wong. He's asking, does everyone think Bigfoot could guide us in different ways? I never heard that one directed. That's interesting. I'm not sure where to go on that one.
I think I know what he's talking about. I'll take a crack at it.
All right.
Well, like you've heard me talk about before, how Bigfoot could be an ambush predator, and that they'll use like Baltimore was talking to me a couple weeks ago about it on the phone, about how a Bigfoot would have followed coyotes and wait till they had the kill and then run them off after they made the kill and take off with it, and it's sort of like a scavenger thing. What if a Bigfoot was leading you into an ambush?
You think he would eat people?
Huh?
You think he would eat people?
I wouldn't be surprised. I've heard reports from Native Americans out west that they've had where Bigfoot would come in and take children and take them away and kill them.
According to some legends, some tribes, they do have their folklore where some of the I've heard the same thing. And with the Micmac Indians, of course, this is going to semi address the next question on here, which is different tribal names for Sasquatch. Well, we know that the Micmac Indians have the name. They have different dialect names for Sasquatch, or their legend related to Sasquatch. The Gugwe guy, the Gugu. They have different ones. But yeah, their legend. I can't speak for all of them, but I know in this particular legend, their legend describing Bigfoot was a large, hairy, female-type beast that was known for kidnapping children as well. I have read it in other legends and folklore, which I've heard similar stories. So, so I'm sure some of them. I don't think all of them are, but yeah, I've heard that. So,
There was one that come out of India, and Josh Gates actually investigated the Indian wild man, about where there was a report of a girl that was taken by the wild man whenever she was young, and then they went in, a farmer lost his daughter to it, and it kidnapped her and took it away. And then years later, they found her in the woods, completely naked. She acted feral. She had no knowledge of human language, English, Hindi, uh, what have you. She had no knowledge of how to speak any kind of human dialect. And he identified saying, "Yes, this is my daughter." And they went and they investigated it on Destination Truth. And she would go and she would react, but she wouldn't speak. So, what's that to say about some of these accounts with the Native Americans in history actually saying where Bigfoot would come and they would take the children and then possibly raise them as their own? Because I believe that Bigfoot, some reports I believe would be of a Bigfoot having a nurturing, family-oriented quality where they would go and raise human children as their own.
I've heard of different things like that too. So, um, let's see. There's a couple other things to address on
I,
here, but I don't know if we'll get to them. Go ahead, Jen.
I was going to say that the different tribes up in this area, particularly the Dakota, Lakota, the Nakota, the Ojibwe, the Cree, talk a lot about Bigfoot being a caregiver or a protector of the people,
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
and actually is a protector of women. So, I think one of the Dakota beliefs about Bigfoot is that, if you're a woman abuser, or if you beat your children or your wife, you better be careful in the woods because Bigfoot might come after you. They
You
really
said
believe that.
you said about how Bigfoot's protective over women. That brings to mind another thing where where women have better chances of being encountered and having up close encounters with Sasquatch, like my mother did. She about 12 years ago had an encounter when her and my brother was out picking blackberries in my research area, and she said that it got real close, but she didn't see it, but she felt like she was being watched, and it was just a calm feeling, but yet she was being protective of my brother, and they got out of there. And that would, I mean, saying how there's so many all women mounted expeditions, field expeditions, where they have better chances of encountering Sasquatches because they don't feel threatened by a female more or less they do a male.
Hmm. Well, I know a number of cases. I know others shared the same thing, but as far as like there's been a couple different occasions where I've taken my daughter out, and I'm not going to get into all of it, but I know there's one area I used to go into all the time where I found a few things there and a few interesting things. But one particular time I took my daughter in there, never heard vocalizations out of there, but the one time I took her in there, we were hearing all kinds of crazy stuff. Some of it didn't seem that sound that far off, and there were different howls and weird yells and everything. And Brianna asked me, "Daddy, are those coyotes?" I said, "I don't think so." But it was interesting. I mean, all the times I go in there, never hear nothing. But I take her in there, yeah, sure enough, we get that. Um, in a whole totally different location. I've taken her in, camping with me. Where, she's been camping with me several times, but there's one particular time she was she was picking up on stuff. She was hearing things. Well, we both heard some tree knocks real close to us one time, like repetitive ones further back in the woods. And and then the other thing is she's good at spotting stuff. We've been at camp where we heard things running behind the camp. It sounded like something running on 2 feet back and forth. But then again, she pointing out eye shine, yellow glowing eye shine in the woods, and stuff like that. But it's like I don't know if there's something that draws, you know, to females or whatnot. But um, I don't know. It's been an interesting adventure with her. So Um, okay, I'm looking at the live. Okay, Nikki's on the live chat right now. But so I don't know. It's been having females in the woods, and I've heard other people say they've experienced things and other activities of various kinds, having females, in the woods. But I don't know. They're definitely drawn to females. That's for sure. So
I have
For
a
one
quick
reason or
question
another.
for Jen.
yeah, go ahead.
Um, well, it was actually for Jen and Baltimore, but he dropped off.
Yeah, he had to
Um,
leave. Yeah.
I've read and people have said that um, the Native Americans, because you're in tune and you have that inset of being part of nature and being one with nature, that you are more open to having experiences with Sasquatch. And my question is I was told that you have to be out in the woods for several hours or even days and be near one of the how did she say water or the earth or wind. You have to immerse yourself in one of these natural things to cleanse yourself. Is that something you have heard of in Jibway or?
Okay, so my native elder was the spiritual leader of our tribe. And he always told me to remember what my ancestors knew. And there's a process of that. And it sounds funny and whatever, but believe it or not, I remember things. I remember how to do things that I've never seen before or witnessed, and I can tell you how to do them. So, I mean, and remembered where things were hidden. It's a bizarre thing, but you can remember what your ancestors knew. I think everybody can if you try. Some things anyway. So, in particular with this, I was following my instincts, and when we went on a really big um expedition last summer, where we were going to go to these places where I had remote viewed Bigfoot to be, and we were also going to find looking for a spot where somebody had reported another structure. So we were going to go look for that. First, I wanted to go to the lake and put myself into the lake, up to my knees at least, and do a prayer with the lake and the water spirits there. And then I went and went to the woods where I was named, and I walked the prayer circle and prayed and in the traditional way that I was taught there. And I, did a cleansing with the sage and the cedar and the sweetgrass and the tobacco. Those are the four sacred medicines of our tribe. And this was a cleansing thing that I did in the water and in the woods. And I wasn't in there for hours and hours. It didn't take me a really long time. It was something that I mean, to walk the meditation trail and do the prayer there. I mean, it was 10 or 15 minutes. It didn't take a long time when your intention is pure, and you're coming at things from with a seventh direction, which is the seventh direction is the heart. So you've got north, south, east, west, the regular four directions, and then you've got Mother Earth is down and Father Sky is up, and then the seventh direction is right here in the middle of my heart. Okay, so when you're coming at things from the place of the seventh direction, standing in the middle of your heart, and you're feeling pure of thought and intention, you can be more aware of those things and more connected to all those things. And I mean, there's a movie out there that I would suggest watching. It's called A Peaceful Warrior, the Peaceful Warrior. It's got Nick Nolte in it. And although it's not Native American at all, I'm going to tell you that a lot of the experiences that are in that movie, I have had myself.
Hmm.
So there's Nick Nolte in the movie plays a character called Sock or Socrates. It's his nickname in the movie, and that would be I would relate him to being similar to my native elder, my Wa'a, who named me. He was my guide. Um, and so some of the things that he experienced in that movie, and he wrote this as a true story, Dan Millman. Uh, I thought he was very ballsy to come out there like a true story like that, because although I believe those things really happened, because there's one particular episode or scene in the movie where Nick Nolte grabs him, and all of a sudden he sees his sight turns into almost a digital camera where you zoom right in and you zoom out and you see something very close, and it's almost like time stopped, it went on pause, or everything's moving very, very super slow motion, and you see every little detail really close up of something, and it zooms back out and it zooms back in just like a camera. I've had that happen. And I was like, oh, this man has experienced that. And I didn't know about this movie. I was telling an old friend of mine from high school. We reconnected on Facebook. And she's a counselor now. So I was telling her some of my more bizarre spiritual experiences like that, where my vision changed in the woods and I started to see things far away, because I was looking for mushrooms and I started to see the mushrooms getting pointed out to me like this. And I hadn't eaten any mushrooms, don't worry. So they were morel mushrooms. They don't cause any psychedelic things anyway. Um, they're my favorite. They're really good. If you haven't had them, you must try them. Morel mushrooms are amazing. Um, and so, I've had these experiences. And so I was telling my friend about this, and she says, have you seen A Peaceful Warrior? And I said, no. And she says, you have to see it. And I said, why? And she says, because it's my favorite movie, and you're the only person I know that will probably really get it. And so a few days later, I get a copy of the DVD in the mail. She sent it to me.
Oh,
And
wow.
I watched it and I was like, I totally see why she sent that to me. Because of that one scene in there and other things that I had shared with her. But go ahead and watch it, because there's a lot of direction that comes through in the movie where about connecting with other things and this being a peaceful warrior, basically.
Wow. I asked all that because I'm not Native American. I'm Hispanic, but I've had experiences where I felt like in tune with certain areas.
Now,
And
Hispanic as in
Spain.
Mexican?
No, Spain.
Spain, okay.
Hispanics. Yeah, Hispanic, Spain, yeah. A
Well,
lot of people use Hispanics as a general for Mexicans or Latinos, and
right?
it's actually different. Hispanic is really from Spain, and Mexicans mostly from Mexico.
Right. Well,
Latinos from the Latin area.
Yeah.
the reason
It's
I
like,
asked that, the reason I asked that is because I consider Mexicans to be native, because they're mixed with the Spaniards. They're native people who mix with the Spaniards.
Right.
They're still
Yeah.
native.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
obviously mixed with white. I'm still native.
And it's funny
Yeah.
you say that because we tracked down that one of my ancestors. They came over as from Spain as slaves, uh, which was old Mexico actually at the time. So it'll be interesting to see how my ancestry comes out. My other side, my came through French Canada, so we came down. Anyway, well, now see, I lost my train of thought. Oh, just the whole. It's very intriguing how I find how you are more in tuned when you're out there, and how sometimes that has happened to me occasionally, and I have seen like lights out there, but I've never associated that what I consider the paranormal stuff with Bigfoot. Do you connect them then you connect them completely together like that, or is it more of just the spiritual thing?
I don't. Okay, the lights. I have had experiences with them personally years before I ever started looking for Bigfoot. Okay. And I'm not the ones that I'm most connected to are the ones that look like fire. I've had some very, very interesting encounters where they've actually touched me. And I have a video of one that actually told me where to point my camera to catch him on the video.
Wow.
Now, from what I'm told by the elders in the tribe, is that it's very rare for an adult to be able to still hear them. And typically it's children, they're very gifted. What they would call a gifted child, we would call psychic, okay, outside of the reservation. Okay, they would call a psychic, a very psychic child. And they watch the children for these gifted children. And then they start watching them to see, how gifted are they? And what are they experiencing? And who are they hearing from? So, from what I understand, it's very rare for someone to be able to maintain the ability into adulthood. And it's even rarer for someone to gain the ability in adulthood, which is what happened to me.
Well, see, that
So,
even makes more sense because I was younger when I was more in tune with animals, especially, but I was way more in tune younger than I am now, and only have occasion, like in certain times of the year, it's really weird. I'm very in tune with stuff, and then the rest of the year, things go by me like nothing.
I
So
would
it's
call
just
that
weird.
falling asleep when we fall back to sleep. You
Mm.
know, we awaken to how life really is, and our connection with all things, our interconnection with all things. My native elder, Larry Stillday Sr., his name was Gichi Maingan. He would always say that we are interrelated, interconnected, and interdependent on all things and everyone. And so we're literally related to a blade of grass as our brother. And so, through the stories that you would hear as a child, if you were raised in that traditional way, you would have a different view of the woods. I grew up in the woods. We lived very much off the land. Although I didn't have those many of those teachings, some of the things were passed on to me from my mother, who didn't even know that they were native things. Because they didn't say, this is white, this is Indian, when you're little. She didn't know it either. This is just how we lived. We lived off the land. But even though my grandmother and my grandfather lived in a birch bark house for part of their marriage. So it's a very interesting thing when you go. Growing up in the woods, I thought everybody talked to animals. I thought everybody could get close to these animals. I had a woodchuck that was my pet, and I could cuddle with him, but no one else could get near him. He would rip you up, rip anybody else apart who got near him. But I could touch animals that no one else could touch. They were never vicious towards me. I can pick up geckos, wild geckos in Florida when I was mini golfing. All the people I was with said, "You cannot catch a gecko." I said, "Oh, yes, I can." I walked up and picked it up and held him in my hand and pet him like, "I go, guy."
Mm.
You know, so
Um,
when you can, it's almost like expressing your intention in a telepathic way before you approach them, and you're just letting them know what you're going to do, not to be afraid, and they'll let you do it. Um, as long as they can sense that you're not going to hurt them, which I wouldn't.
Mhm.
But now I'm forgetting the question again because I'm getting off on a rampage.
I know. We hijacked the whole show with paranormal and spirits and
Hey,
feelings
Oh, I
and
remember. I remember that. Though
it's all good.
the
oh,
lights
here's
to
something
me,
that come to mind.
the lights aren't paranormal. To me, they are beings. They are living beings that don't have the same type of a mass of a physical form that we have. Are some of the traditional stories say that they can take shape, that they are shapeshifters. They could take a human
oh
shape
my
if they
gosh,
wish.
I can't believe you just said that because one of the experiences I had was we were out in the woods, all pitch black, and we were following I would describe like blue light flickering off in the distance, and we followed it, and only me and one of my other cousins could see it. We followed it and hearing like cracking out there, and I thought we're going to run into a bear and we're going to die, but something happened and the lights went off, and all of a sudden we turned and my cousin's face turned white, like he was dying. I mean, scared white, and we asked him what happened and we thought something was coming at us. We ran away. When we got back, he said he saw a troll. He described something short, stocky, hairy, ugly face with teeth and everything, but I didn't see it. None of my other cousins saw it, but he saw
That's a
something out there.
that's a puck. That's what we would call a puckwudgie.
Well,
Oh, I've
he
heard
wasn't
of them.
lying. He wasn't lying
Nasty little
because
things.
his his whole body was shaking, and he was in shock.
Yep.
And we knew we heard stuff out there, but I never saw it. And but he did. He had some kind of experience, and I saw him have the experience because I was looking at him have it. And it's just weird. It something. There's things that go on, and we don't understand them.
Yes. Well, the experiences that I've had with the lights that have communicated with me, um, they're very intelligent. They're very loving. They're very much trying to guide us and teach us, I guess, a better way. So, and the native medicine people that I know, you tell me that this is what they call to for help when they're doing healing ceremonies and when they're asking for assistance. These are the things that they call to for help.
Hmm. Very interesting.
Well, you know what?
And
I tell you what, I really like the way this is going. It's actually interesting that when because this is something that we normally don't really get too much to talking about on here, and it's a different. It's kind of refreshing if you ask me, and I like the different side of things. Because Nikki, I don't think you ever opened up and shared some of the stuff you did. So
oh yeah, not a whole lot. Well,
so
you know me, because I was very separate things that I thought were paranormal to the Bigfoot, and
right,
I've never had a Bigfoot experience.
yeah,
So that's why one never crossed to the other. But I've
ah,
had a lot of paranormal stuff happen to me. Um, that's really unexplainable to me
right.
and scary at the same time because I can't explain it.
Well, see, we can thank Jen for drawing out that side of you. She got the powers.
I know. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, oh my God, I've experienced that. I'm like, oh my God,
Well, she's a
I
massage therapist, and
you
she's
know,
talking about she's got this energy and this power. So I have yet to experience her massage. So she
Well,
she says
it's not.
she says she's gonna give me
That's it.
one. So
Oh dear
I'm a
God.
Reiki. I'm a
okay,
Reiki master teacher. That's energy is a different thing than massage.
okay, well,
you took that
hey,
way too weird there, buddy.
well, look here. I'm sorry, I twist things up sometimes.
I said I'd help you feel energy like a physical thing.
Okay, well,
It'll change your experience of the forest. It really will. So, hey, when I'm out at the ECBRO's Virginia Bigfoot conference, y'all should come and see me out there. If you want to feel energy as a physical thing, you just come see me. I'm Jen Cruz from She Squatchers, and
well,
I'll help you feel it.
Zach will. I know Zach will be there. He's my MC for that event. And Nikki, I know you're talking about trying to get up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get out there. It's just gonna be a matter of last minute,
Yeah,
and I know that's gonna be hard, but for me and the kids and everything, and how far away I am, I'm gonna
right.
have to. It'll be like 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks out before I can make the final decision.
Oh yeah.
But I really want to try to get out there and see everybody because I've made so many friends over there, and it'd be nice to see everybody for real.
Well, you and
Yeah,
your
it's
you
good
and
to
your
see the
husband just
dogs
bought a
too.
new truck, though, didn't you?
Yeah, we did because the little mule was getting tired, and we didn't want it to break down because it didn't have no warranties anymore.
Now
So
if I'm not mistaken, you bought a Chevy, right?
yeah,
Good
First
Silverado.
girl.
mistake.
Good. No, 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 no.
No,
You did the
we
right
have
thing.
two Chevy Silverados sitting in the parking lot out there,
Yeah. See, you
and
support that's supporting. Well, not just America, but you're supporting. My father's retired from General Motors, so there you go.
no, we're both truck people because we both, well, not him, but I get out in the woods and I need something reliable and 4-wheel drive.
Man, I'm sure they're nice with it. To drive long distances. Well, driving highway is probably not that bad, but I know they're not light on gas. That's for sure. So
Yeah, I
So
look
it
good in
will
it.
if you. So if you come up, would you be driving or
No, I'll fly out. I'll fly out.
Oh
It'll take me 3 days to drive over there. So I'd rather
yeah,
spend the time actually there than on the road.
right. Yeah, because I know MK Davis is coming up. He's driving all the way up from Mississippi, and
Wow.
Bless his heart.
yeah, and let's see who else. Well, Baltimore. I haven't even asked him if how he's coming up because he's coming up from Texas. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He's one of my speakers. So,
Me
but
and Mom's gonna be trucking hard all overnight to get out there.
yeah, Zach and his mom, they're coming all the way from Southern Illinois. That's a 10. It's a straight shot east from where he's at, and it's
10
10
and a half
hours
hour
from him.
drive.
Oh wow.
So,
It's
You
20
better be
hours for
lucky I
me.
love you enough to go ahead and show up. Because next
all
time
right,
I'm flying out there.
there you go. So,
It's it's a 20-hour drive for me.
wow. Now, when you're coming out, what are you flying out here, or are you going to drive? Because I know you're flying to go to the event down in Virginia on March 17th.
Yes, I'm going to fly out to be at the premiere of Cultured Bigfoot documentary by Bilko Productions because I'm in it and it's going to be a fun time. We're going to do some question and answer Bigfoot stuff on the stage afterwards. That'll be
Awesome.
pretty awesome. You guys should come out for that. And then
What?
I will be driving out to the ECBRO Virginia Bigfoot Conference in June, the end of June.
So you are driving to that? Wow.
20 hours if we don't stop for gas at all.
Oh,
If we
you're
have to
gonna
stop
have.
for gas.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. I'm sure. I don't know what you drive, but regardless of what you drive, you will. So,
Right, right.
well, I'll be seeing you on March 21st. Are you gonna be giving out massages down there, or?
No. Well, maybe if you sit in front of me, I could give you a little neck rub or something at a dinner. You could buy us dinner. How's that?
Oh my.
Oh, God.
Well, that's a possibility. I mean, I'll have some money
Uh-oh.
on me there, but
We
thank
can
God for
trade.
taxes coming.
Good trade. Good trade.
Okay, there you go. Hey, yeah, what's the name of the grill? The place. It's called the Wood Booger Grill, right?
Yeah, it's right across the street from the theater where they're doing the theatrical public premiere. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like it's a good place. I can't wait to try them out.
I know. We have to see what kind of awesome things they have.
Like, I
Right?
want to know if their menu is like Bigfoot related. It's got to be Bigfoot related. I mean, the place is called Wood Booger, and that's what they call it down in Southwest Virginia. The Wood
Right?
Booger.
Right.
Just as
So
long as they don't have no boogers in it.
no, yeah, yeah, that's a good one. So, oh my. Tell you what, as much as I hate to, I do got to jump off here, guys, and I'm up to 872 subscribers. Woohoo!
That's awesome.
So,
Well,
yeah.
thank you for having me on.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. And we haven't done a live podcast like this in a while, so we were well overdue for it. And I think tonight went pretty well, and we're gonna have to be doing more. So, for anyone that's viewing, I know a lot of you guys really enjoy these live podcasts, and I'm sure a lot of you missed them. So continue to be on the lookout for future podcasts. I do have some more video footage to upload. So here in the near future, I'll be uploading new field videos as well. So, but with that being said, if you have not done so, buy your tickets for the ECBRO First Annual Virginia Bigfoot Conference, June 30th and July 1st in Fishersville, Virginia, at the Augusta Expo. And then also April 21st in Harlan, Kentucky, at the Harlan, Kentucky CryptoCon at 110 River Street at the Extension Depot. Come on down and check that out. It's free and open to the public. There's going to be there's several speakers there. So there's going to be a big variety of vendors as well, arts and crafts, all that good stuff. So yeah, if you're in the area or you get down to Kentucky, come down and check that out. So, and am I missing anything else as far as upcoming events? Oh yeah, the weekend of May 5th, Ohio Bigfoot Conference. Salt Fork State Park. So don't forget the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. They are doing it the weekend of May 5th. They do it every year in the month of May, but I know last year it was May 21st that weekend. I was there for that whole weekend, but they're doing it the May weekend of May 5th, first weekend of May. So that's different. Um, so I don't know. Is there anything else that I'm leaving out that you guys could think of?
Uh, yeah,
I
be
know
sure
this.
to check out Backwoods Investigations.
Yes, on YouTube. You got any more guests coming up for that, Zach?
Tracy Arnold scheduled. I'm supposed to talk to Briar Squatch today. Talk about having them on the show. I'm still taking in guests. If you have encounters with, it doesn't even have to be Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman, Lizard Man, paranormal UFOs. Everybody's welcome. If you have an encounter, go ahead and send it into my personal Facebook, or you can email it to me at blimp at BLIMPSIMH at gmail.com. Or you can message us on our team page on Facebook, the Southern Illinois Monster Hunters. Just go ahead and send us in a message. I answer every message that's sent in to us. Personally, you'll be talking directly with me. Also, be sure to check out every couple nights. I've started doing a new series of Facebook Lives on Facebook called Story Time, where I'm going down a list starting with Illinois, and then I'm going to start working my way around to other states, talking about other cryptids other than Bigfoot and Dogman. Just the last 2, 3 episodes I've done the infield horror, the Tuttle Bottoms monsters, and then just last night I did the Stump Pond Serpent. So be sure to check all that out. Also, I'm planning on starting the SIMH monthly newsletter email on Facebook, not Facebook, the email thing. If anybody's interested in being a recipient of our newsletter every month, go ahead and check it out. Get with me on my personal Facebook, Zach D. Sterick, and send me your email address. I'll put it in our logbook, and you'll be sure to get notified of everything coming up.
Awesome. Jenna, I want to. I know you have a YouTube channel. She Squatchers, all one word. She Squatchers official. Now, do you have? I know you guys have your radio show. Do you have a channel where you upload them to a YouTube channel by any chance?
We
Because I'm
don't
looking at.
upload
Oh,
we
you.
don't upload the show to YouTube, but I do have a website that all the shows are uploaded to, so you can listen to them anytime you wish. It's
Oh,
thejourneyradioshow.com.
okay. Awesome. And yeah, your next you got the you just had Matthew Delph on recently, and you have the Ohio Night Stalkers coming up here. When are they scheduled?
This upcoming Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on the Para-X Radio Network.
Very
Um,
awesome.
and I didn't know, I just found out they're going to be speaking at the International Bigfoot Conference this year.
Yes, yes, they are. Yeah, I think Bill Lancaster is what I hold. Don't hold me to this, but I want to say he will be there as well. He's been getting a lot of I'm getting tongue tied. Publicity, and he's been getting a lot of invites to several different conferences and other conventions. So that's good stuff right there.
I am really excited to see his documentary, but I'm really even more excited for the next two he's got planned.
Mm,
They're both about Bigfoot. As soon as we did the interview for Cultured Bigfoot, he said, "Will you be in my next two documentaries? The next one's going to be about the woo aspects of Bigfoot, and the one after that is the native connection to Bigfoot."
nice, very
I'm
nice.
excited for those.
Yeah, because I mentioned to him regarding, well, I guess this year he's going to start on that. He might get started on that this year, I'm assuming. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. And we'll see
Oh,
what
one
he.
other thing I forgot.
Yeah, go ahead.
The third annual Bigfoot campout scheduled August 31st through September 3rd, Labor Day weekend this year. They just uploaded it to the Bigfoot portal yesterday, and it's on the calendar along with the ECBRO State Virginia Bigfoot Conference. Be sure if you're not, the event is up on the SIMH Facebook page if anybody's interested. go ahead and get with me. If you want details, questions answered, you're more than welcome. I'll answer what I can. Everybody's invited to come out. No charge. I don't take money for this thing. You're just welcome to come out. Just bring yourself, your equipment, your food, a little bit of firewood in your tent. I guarantee you'll have a good time hanging out with us.
Very awesome. And I do want to give a shout out in recognition to the ECBR's first annual Virginia Bigfoot Conference sponsors. We have Dan Lindham and Ed Brown of the Big Truth Productions. You can check them out. They are found on YouTube. The Big Truth YouTube channel. It goes by just Big Truth. And Ed Brown, Sit Down with Ed Brown is his YouTube channel. We also have the Ohio Night Stalkers, Mike Miller and Mike Feltner. They are one of our other big sponsors. And we have Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, North Carolina State resident. She is the author and the founder of thesecretoverything.com. So you could also check them out. They all have, well, as far as I know, they all have YouTube channels. I'm not sure. Does Mike and do Mike and Mike, do they have a YouTube channel?
I know they got an episode on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know what?
I'm not sure.
I'll find out right now.
You think they're up?
Oh, I know they usually stay up late because I know sometimes I get messages from them real late. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Here it is right here. Here's one to show. Yeah, the Ohio Night Stalkers. Oh, hold on. No, they don't. I take that back. It was it's a episode that it's one of the radio shows that we're on. It's uploaded. Night Call is Bigfoot Radio.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, they actually have. They've been on a few here. Let me see. There's other ones here with them, I think. Okay, I guess they don't have a YouTube channel. But the Ohio Night Stalkers, you can find them. You can friend them on Facebook. Check them out. They're not only are they one of our sponsors, they're also will be our speakers as well. And they'll be sharing some audio, which is a part of what got them involved with their series, Terror in the Woods. So that should be interesting to hear that and to check that out. So, and I think that just about covers it. And let's see what we got here. Just had a notification pop up. Nice. I got 874 subscribers now because I got more, so that's good. All right, well, let's call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, guys. Jen, it's been a pleasure. Zach, thank you for being a part of this. And until next time, we'll get this going again soon. Squatch Watchers Radio will be coming back soon. Our next episode will have a guest involved, so be on the lookout for the announcement on that. So we're jumping off here, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, good night.